I am talking away and I didn't even have Lord. One day I'm probably gonna get it together, maybe not. But hey, y'all. My voice is still a little crazy, but what's going on? How's everybody doing? Hey, Bama, good to see you. Tammy, dog mom. Hey, friend. Hey, everyone. How's everybody's day been going so far? I'm still trying to get some things done on the other end, so give me 1 second. I was gonna do a video today, but I just decided to just do it live. We're just gonna do some comment diving. I've been getting a lot of questions, and I just feel like it's easier to respond to them live as opposed to typing because sometimes um you can't decipher the tone of a message when it's in text. So, I just decided to go live and then we can chit chat if y'all want for a little bit. I got a little time tonight. Give me 1 second. Let me put up my little disclaimer on my video. Okay, that'll suffice for now. Hold on, let me put a thumbnail. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm almost ready, I promise. Did I download it? There we go. Okay. It would not be me if I was completely prepared, right? Oh, excuse me. My day has been cool. The weather is cool. Yeah, it's really cold here today as well. It was actually really cold on Halloween and we got a little bit of snow where I am. I live in Ohio. Um and it went down to like 32 or so degrees. So it was really cold. I think it was kind of warm like toward the afternoon and then this weekend it's going to be back cold again. So I guess summer is officially over, right? I'm trying to get to where I want to start. I don't even know what video to start as far as these comments. Excuse me. Let me see. If I go back to October 9th, that's not too far. What y'all think? Let me see what type of comments I got on this one. Let me share the screen too. Um, I'm so sorry. Keep clearing my throat. Okay. I live in PA. Hold on. Yeah, I passed out a lot of candy, but I literally had on like a big bully willy coats, gloves, my hood was on. The only thing I think that was my saving grace was because it gets dark early. And so I didn't have to stay out there too long. So that was cool, but I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into it because I don't like to waste anybody's time. The first Darrell Brooks video that I did was called where did it go? Are criminals born or made? And did this October the 9th. And this is what got me the bulk of my subscribers. I appreciate y'all. So I think in this video I just went over like his criminal history, his timeline, and um I think that's it. I can't remember. It hasn't been that long ago, but like I said, I've been doing so much that I can't remember specifically. But I just wanted to go through some of these comments with y'all and just point out the ones that had questions, just in case you had questions that were similar, or if you have questions, period, about anything, you can go ahead and put them in the chat and we can just chit chat or whatever. Let me see. I don't think this one had too many questions. Hold on. So everybody pretty much agreed, you're not born bad, you're made. Yeah, cause I was still new, so y'all didn't know what to expect, right? Somebody said, "Did school prepare you for defendants building box forts in court?" Oh, so I don't think it was much on here. Like I said, I think I was just trying to gain some traction on here, and that's where I started getting like subs or whatever. So I think I'm gonna go to another video. Give me a second. Why don't y'all go ahead and comment what was the first video you saw from me and what made you subscribe, if y'all don't mind. Hey, Fee, how are you? It's good to see you. Okay. Can y'all see my screen? Let me X this out. Fee, I'm just comment diving. I don't really have too much of a topic. I'm 4 away from 500 subscribers. So I just wanted to go back throughout some of the videos and just see and answer some questions that people have been leaving me. I do go through and heart all of the comments, but sometimes I can't comment like I need to. So, I'm just doing that now, but if you have any questions or if you guys wanna talk about anything, feel free to do so. I'm actually gonna dive through this last video I did. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to see it. It was part 1 of the interrogation, and that video actually has 2,000 a little over 2,000 views already, and I just released it last night. Um and I think it has over 100 comments on it. So, excuse me, I was not expecting that whatsoever. Um, let me see. So I think somebody asked me, let me find it. Here's Fee's comment. That boy's shoulder wasn't hurting. He was just slammed. It was all a game. I agree that he was likely trying to call Erica, but the shoulder is a hard no. Fee, you don't think his shoulder was hurting? He said his shoulder was hurting. They ripped it out the socket. Oh, somebody laughed because I called Dawn bald-headed. I mean, where is the question at? Do y'all feel another question I have too is do y'all feel that in the beginning of that interrogation, do you feel that them using Erica was it excessive? Like, as far as the questioning and not getting to the root of the issue? That's another question that I had. Okay, dog mom, I see your comment. You know what I keep commenting as I watch this. Do you know what top expert federal interrogator said that they did a fantastic job, that they actually did exactly what they should have done? I remember watching this and I was off, but when I watched a panel of 6, they said they actually did a fantastic job. So see, that's the thing. Like I hmm. Excuse me. I don't think they did a bad job. I just don't like so my thing is like they had already built built a rapport with Darrell at the hospital, right? So they went in, they asked him questions or whatever, just general questions about, who he was, who Erica was, what his relationship was with her. And then I'm assuming at some point they either had a phone conversation with Detective Guth or however that went. I'm not sure. And they got information related to that. And so while Erica's claim was very important, I don't feel like it was the basis of why they needed to interrogate him, if that makes sense. So that's what I meant by that. Like, I just feel like you already know what type of person you're dealing with. And I just feel like when you get close to an hour, if they're not giving you anything, you see that there's a lot of pushback. Either you're just going to change your approach or you're just going to let them know what evidence you have and move on. And I just feel like it took him so long to do that or whatever. We all know Zarel was not going to break. He wasn't going to confess. And that's the thing with police. They don't need you to confess. They just want to see if you are going to give them some type of motive and an explanation. But that's another thing that I wanted to explain too, the difference between an interview and an interrogation. So when the police call you in and they're um Okay, let's say like we all was somewhere and something happened, like the store, somebody robbed the store, right? All of us can be called in for an interview to see what we know because the police wasn't there. They can't arrest anybody without probable cause, right? So if we all snitch and say, Sally did it, right? Then they're going to take the evidence that they have. They go to the magistrate and say, hey, we have probable cause to believe that this person robbed the store. These are the witness, statements that we have. They'll sign off on an arrest warrant and then you can go arrest that person. Now, the difference between being arrested and detained, when you're detained, legally you can't leave, but you're not under arrest. So they're just questioning you to get probable cause, right? But once they Mirandize you, you're under arrest. And so we know he's a career criminal. He knows he was under arrest. They Mirandized him. So at this point, he's too arrogant to ask for a lawyer because to him and to a lot of criminals, it admits guilt. But if I play stupid, if I play like I'm hurt, if we keep talking about Erica, it takes the attention off of what happened. And so he just played a game with Detective Carpenter and he let the game go on too long and it just got on my nerves. Like, I just feel like at a certain point, you should have just been like, look, dude, we know it was you. Why did you do it? He's not going to give you an answer. Fine. You're under arrest. I'll present this to the prosecution. I can go home and go to bed. You try to sleep in this cot tonight. You know what y'all saying? If he was hurt and it was due to the way he was driving or jumping over the fence. That's what I think too, Bama. Somebody pointed that out to me and was like, maybe it was just like the impact because the way he was flying through that parade, his body probably was bouncing and he ain't that big or whatever. So, I don't know. I mean, I ain't saying he lying. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know. I do feel like he exaggerated. Like, I don't think it was in the amount of pain that he claimed. And we all know he wasn't slammed to the ground. Excuse me. But I don't know with that character. Let's see. My first video I watched, the viewers with the interrogation, I was hoping I had to subscribe. I was hoping I had to subscribe. What? My first video I watched, the viewers with the interrogation. Dog mom, what you talking about? I can't comprehend what you're saying. Do you need any mods? I think I'm okay for right now. I have my chat set to subscribe mode only, so it kind of keeps the bad people out. But, eventually I will and I'll consider you. I couldn't stand how he was complaining about his cut finger when he killed 6 people. I know, right? He's a punk. Everyone that was subpoenaed to testify had to show up while I wasn't down with. So I don't know. I need somebody, whoever else has clarification can explain it better than I can. So I'm just going to tell you guys now, and I'm not saying it in a mean way. I have watched the trial two, maybe three times. There are only two channels that I watch, and I don't really watch them anymore that talk about Darrell Brooks, and I'm not going to say which channels. The reason why I don't watch them anymore is because when I started my channel, I wanted to start with my own opinions and I didn't want anybody else's opinions to cloud my judgment and get in the way of what I wanted to do with this. And so a lot of information such as like court documents and just different things like that people have access to. I don't have that. And so a lot of those fine details I don't know because I don't have them yet. Because I don't I don't know if I want to actually use that or not. So there are other channels and other people that have watched those channels that know some of those details that like I said, I don't know. And it's just by choice right now because I don't want to mix like I said, their commentary with my judgment and how I want to do my channel. But as far as I know, they originally were going to call her, and for whatever reason, they released her from subpoena. Now, I know during jury selection, they had a housekeeping, quote unquote, housekeeping meeting, and they had asked Darrell if his mom was still on his witness list because his previous attorneys had she was on the witness list or whatever, and it's like a preliminary thing where the prosecution and a defense, they kinda come together to see who's gonna call who so they can best prepare. And so Darrell had, crossed her off the list initially. So maybe I don't wanna put Bama Green Eyes on the spot, but she knows a lot about, those fine details that I don't really know too much of yet. See? And she probably wasn't gonna I mean, my thing is, like, I think that she knew she would commit perjury. You know what I mean? Like, the stuff that they would ask her would require her to turn on her son, and I don't think she's ever willing to do that. You know what I mean? And so, I guess I don't know if maybe she talked to them and they just said, "You know what? Just forget it. She's not gonna be valuable to us anyway," and just released her from the subpoena. That's just me guessing. I have no idea. He's been tased? Oh, no. Well, Imma say it for you. He lied. Okay, Fiano. Hey, John. Keep me in mind because it won't be long for you. Hey, I'm claiming it, okay? Well, let's see where we at. We might be at that good old 500. I think we halfway there. I appreciate y'all so much, seriously. We're at 496. We're almost there. But thank you, yes. The state has so much evidence they didn't need her. They didn't. I read originally where they had 75 people, 75 witnesses, and, Judge Doral was like, "Y'all gotta trim that down. We're not gonna ever get done with this trial." They had more than enough. I read that it was 400, um, pieces of evidence at one point. It was a lot. He wasn't crazy. He knew Opera was gonna eat his mom up on a stand. Mhm. Mhm. I also read that, with him representing himself pro se, if he did choose to testify, um, he would have gotten on a witness stand and just been able to provide a narrative as to what happened or whatever, and then, of course, cross from the state. So, I really wish he woulda went up there, but he just was so he was so butthurt that his mom didn't come, and so he just couldn't get his mindset right. That's gonna be another video, but, I hate that he just chose not to testify. Oh, thank you, Fee. You are so sweet. Y'all are so good to me. Seriously. Where dog mom, you still here? I hope you didn't leave. Okay, so somebody said, I watched the whole trial and never heard anything about Erica's mama. They did not discuss Erica's mom during the trial. This is from Linda Sue Gordon. I think she's a new subscriber. Thank you. They didn't discuss anything about Erica's mom during the trial. I learned about Erica's mom from transcripts that I found. And also she provided an interview where she said that her mom passed. Um, and so I don't know what other family members she has. I guess that's in reference to me saying that she was in Milwaukee without family or whatever. Let me see. Somebody asked me another question about ouch. Okay. Okay, so somebody said, I was thinking they kept on the Erica topic because it makes him livid. So he will mindlessly give something. I also think the whole thing was to waste Darrell time and annoy him, but mostly to show how little he cared after the time of the incident and deceptive. The part they showed of him with the phone was great footage for the jury to be like, wow, I do agree Detective Carpenter was in his feelings and could have done better. Yes. That's from Hamilton 8122. The only thing with that is that you have to be very careful because there's a thin line when it becomes coercion. So this the interrogation ended up being a little over 5 hours. At the 6-hour mark, that is considered coercion. So you have to cut the interview or the interrogation and try to do it again another day. So they wasted a lot of time and got nothing. Um This is from my girl Sparky. Okay, here was another question I wanted to address. It says, "Hi Lauren, have you seen Erica's interview with detectives after the park incident leading up to the parade? We can hear Erica's side of the story. Please consider viewing and doing a video. Thanks. Great job." This is from Terry B. Now, I did a video. I did a video about Erica. I'm pretty sure all of you have seen it. And I purposely chose to leave the interview out because it's heart-wrenching to me. It is gut-wrenching, it's heart-wrenching, it's sad. And I have quite a few subscribers who are victims of domestic V, and I have subscribers who have friends and loved ones who are victims as well. And so I I don't wanna do it's hard for me to play that because I don't wanna trigger anybody. Um, that's why I chose not to play it yet, and I still don't know if I want to or not. I don't wanna put anybody in a position where they're uncomfortable, with what I talk about. Like, this already is a very sensitive topic, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard it, most of you already, but again, there may be some people who have not heard it, and then just based off the type of commentary that I provide, it may be triggering because it's not just me listening to it and just, saying whatever. As you guys know, I like to dig deeper into it. And so that will require me to dig up information to go with the video. So I just don't want to I don't want it to be triggering for anyone. So that's why I just have not played the video or talked about it at all. Yes, get them likes up. Thank you, Bama. I am listening while I wash my face and change. Yes, get comfy. I just took a nice warm shower. My hubby made spaghetti tonight and it was delicious. And now I'm here. Oh, if Darnisha got on the stand, the table would wait. The DA table would fight each other to question him. Oh my gosh. I would have wanted Leslie to get him. Okay. My girl Leslie. She would have lit him up. Excuse me. Where you going? But I'll be back. I gotta get wait, why can't I read tonight? Hey, Chad, I hate to leave, but I'll be back. I've got to get my girl to go outside and suffer. Oh, the dog. Okay, well, come back. Thank you, Fee, so much. My first video I watched was the interrogation. I can't do this. Talk to text. It's okay. That wasn't your first video of mine. We'll talk when you come back, dog mom. But yeah, so that's why I have not, Terry, when you watch the replay, Miss Terry, that's why I have not done Erica's interview with the detectives, and I need to think about it some more, because it is important to get her side of the story, but, I just think for some people it's triggering. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, so Shadow says, I would love to hear your opinion on something that really bugs me about this whole situation. While it is that Waukesha County was able to have Brooks tried, convicted, and sentenced in less than a year, while Milwaukee County still can't get the trial started for what Erica over 2 years after the fact. Is it a county thing, city thing, or? So the best way I can describe that is using the emergency room as an example. So I don't know if you ever gone to the emergency room and maybe you just had like flu-like symptoms, you wanted to get tested and get medicine and go home and rest. Well, when you go to the hospital, they base treatment on acuity, meaning most severe to less severe. So if you have somebody in there that maybe has a broken limb, or maybe they're having some heart issues, high blood pressure, they're hemorrhaging, or maybe they have like a brain injury or something like that, they're going to go first. And so that's kind of how it is with the legal system. Um, if there is like a murder trial going on, they're gonna take that case first, try it out, and then go down the list based on how serious the charges are. So with Erica's charge, what was it? Recklessly endangerment. it may be something else. So if you put that up against a murder charge, they're not going to take that case first. It also depends on the availability of public defenders, which is to my understanding right now, there is a shortage of public defenders. Hence the reason why Darrell has keeps having these status hearings because he hasn't been assigned a public defender yet. So it just depends on the severity of the charges and it depends on the availability of public defenders. It depends on if the prosecution is ready to present their case, meaning they have all of their evidence ready to present. It also depends on if the prosecution has turned over all of their evidence to the defense and they are ready to present as well. Sometimes it just takes a little longer with certain cases. It could take the prosecution up to a year to gather evidence depending upon, how serious it is and what type of witnesses you need, especially if you need expert witnesses. You have to make sure that you're able to pay them. So you have to get a budget set with the court. They have to interview the defendant, and then the prosecution has to come up with questions, different things like that. So it's a long process. Sometimes you have to do depositions, and then once the defense gets the case, they have to go through all of the evidence to make sure that they can present a case and not based off of innocence or guilt, but to see if maybe they can suppress evidence or if they need to petition the court to have their own expert witnesses. Sometimes you have witnesses that um, don't cooperate. They may leave the state. They may just decide that they don't want to be questioned anymore. I mean, it's just so much that goes into that. So unfortunately, um, Erica's case kind of got put on the back burner and it's still on the back burner. And I'm hoping that it doesn't get dismissed. But those are some of the barriers to why, excuse me, cases can be prolonged. Let me see. What assault? Erica has no real support system. She is also very vulnerable, and people are offering advice. That's very true. While having hidden agendas and questionable motives, she needs to be extremely careful in whom she trusts. DB assaulted her on November 20th, but that was thrown out since there were no marks. DB should have been charged for that assault too. I do agree with Monica about some of the people who are reaching out to her, but I'm not gonna speak about that any further. Um, let me see. Okay, so this is Linda Bell. She says, my theory about complaining about his shoulder was he'd go to the hospital to see the injuries he did to the people. Hmm. That's my theory. And I've talked to a lot of people, and that's what they believe that he is such a narcissist. I hate narcissist. I hate that word. He wanted to see what damage he did to these people because he is a POS in his mind. He wanted to see the damage he did to others because all of the suffering he's had in his life. Um, I don't know. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. Okay, so Susan says Carpenter knows that they have plenty of evidence to nail him. The question was, can he get a confession? Exactly. A common interrogation technique is to make sure the suspect believes he was justified. There was a reason for his actions. If it was an accident, it's not that bad, not his fault, life is hard, etc. So Carpenter was distastefully steering the interrogation towards it being Erica's fault, but this was not because he thought Erica had any culpability. It was to trick Brooks, excuse me, into a confession. Unfortunately, Brooks did not fall for it. Exactly. I mean, I get that. I'm not saying that he was blaming Erica. I just didn't like that they let it go on as long as they did? I thought somebody else had a question. Hold on. Excuse me. Okay, so that's it on that one. What y'all saying in these comments? Y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all don't want to be bothered tonight. That's what y'all saying. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, okay, so somebody clear up. Did he drop out ninth grade or 11th grade? That's another question that I have because I don't know. Okay, so Sparky says, I understand the standby counsel issue as the public defender's course appointed counsel can't act as standby counsel, but he could get his own at his own expense, but it was never really clearly clarified if he could get an independent counsel. Looking forward to hearing you break down that clarification. So based on what I read in Wisconsin, they are not allowed to appoint standby counsel. So two things could have happened. If he needed legal advice, he would have had to appoint his own attorney. So he would have to have hired a private attorney, Sparky. However, if his behavior would have gotten worse than what it already was, then he would have lost his right to represent himself and he would have been forced to have a public defender. So I really think that that's what he was trying to do. I think that he was just trying to force her to give him a private attorney. And I don't think he understood that he couldn't have standby counsel. And that is what he was trying to do originally. And it just didn't work out. Excuse me. Somebody asked, "What do I think of him wearing a mask?" Because of the first day of the hearing, he didn't wear a mask. Now, see, he's showing up in court wearing a mask. I find it hard to believe he's wearing it to fight COVID. No, he didn't wear it to fight COVID. They had a whole hearing about him wearing a mask. Now, his lawyers, of course, were saying that he just wanted to protect himself because of the travel to and fro from court to the jail. But I think it was just an effort to conceal his identity. And the reason why I think that is because during one of the pretrial hearings, when Anna Keys was still representing him, she had asked Detective Casey what Darrell's specific appearance was. And at that time, Darrell had cut off all of his hair as well as his facial hair, and he was wearing the mask. And so there was a back and forth about if Darrell had hair and facial hair and all of that. And I think that's where Darrell got that from when he was presenting his case. He kind of clung on to what Anna Keys used during that pretrial hearing. And so the mask was just a way from him for him to conceal his identity, nothing more. Nope, he didn't want to pay for an attorney. He don't have no money. Nope. And also, like, I feel like I don't know. I had two theories. I think one of my theories was just that, um, of course, we know he likes to be in control, and so he wanted to be in total control of how that case was going to go. And you can't tell an attorney what to do, especially a public defender. They're trying to represent you and make sure that they are protecting your rights. And so you don't have a say so. You don't go in there and say you're going to do this, this, and that. And that's what's happening with Sarah Boone. If you guys have been following her, she wants to be in total control of how her ex lawyers were presenting her case. And since she couldn't be in control, she threw a tantrum until she got another attorney. And I guess this one is doing everything that she likes so far. But that is why he got rid of them, and I think he just tried to cling on to some of the language that they used during the pretrial hearing, but it wasn't, suitable for the actual trial, and I forgot where I was going with that, but let's see. Mm, I'm sorry. I'm trying to see. I probably should have just copied and pasted Somebody asked me, with him objecting to any and everything, is that normally allowed? Yes, there's no limits on how many times you can object. Somebody asked if the prosecution could have helped Darrell. No. Now they did help him with his subpoenas, but they couldn't help him with like filings or anything like that. So no. Um, let me see. Hey, Joanna. Is it Joanna? Hi, how are you? Thanks for coming. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm thankful that he wore a mask. Look at those chiclet teeth. They terrible. To go back a step, he wanted to go to the hospital because, in some minds, if the suspect claims injury, it'll embarrass the department to drop charges or get outrage from the community. Exactly. Exactly, John. Yep. You're exactly right. I think he wanted this to be a civil rights issue from the jump. Darrell is a career criminal, but he's quick on his feet. I keep saying that and people are getting upset, but I don't care. He's quick on his feet. If you look at we about to watch matter of fact, I can pull that up. We're going to watch how quick he was on his feet. The first thing he starts screaming is, "What did I do? What did I do?" Okay, they tell him to get down. He gets down. When they pull him up, ah. Come on, y'all. He just knew they were gonna be like, "Oh my God, we did something to him." Like you said, John, lawsuit. They slammed him down. I mean, so now I'm wondering, like, did he know that they didn't have body cam? Like, only one officer had body cam, but the other officers didn't? Because he knew he was getting ready to get away with that. And then also the officer that came in to get the report about his shoulder, I saw somebody said that they felt sorry for her. I don't feel sorry for her. She has to be impartial. And so she couldn't just go in there and be like, "You a black ass lie." You know what I'm saying? She knew she has to go in there and be professional and get his side of the story so she could put that in her report. Okay. And then do an investigation. So it wasn't so much that she was siding with him. She had a job to do, you know? Let me see. Where am I at? I'm so behind on comments. Um, okay, here's the outline. Let's see what she's saying. Hey, I'm back. I thought this was the first video I saw. I can't remember now. You're probably right because I watch every single one. Oh, dog mom, thank you. Girl, I've been putting out these videos so fast. Let me see. I can't say how many times I had inmates, fake injuries, breaking up a fight, or my favorite scream, I can't breathe. You know what? I don't like I can't breathe. I don't. And Imma just leave it at that. I'm not even gonna get deep into that, but I get what you're saying, John. I watched a channel that showed that Jay Prince, I got mad, very hot under the color. He said it was all racial. Which channel was it, Bema? I don't mind you putting it in the chat. I saw a couple of interviews that he did, and he said it was racial, and he said that it was Erica's fault. Um, had she not disclosed her location, then none of this would have happened. I can't stand him. Excuse me. I'm trying to just go through here and see if I have any more. I did wanted to ask y'all because I had a couple people saying that they couldn't hear the videos. Are you guys having a hard time hearing my videos? Everything is amplified on my end, but I just wanted to double check. We almost through this, and then I might find a video to watch. Y'all want to watch a video on here real quick? If not, then we can peace out. I just wanted to come on here and go through these questions and tell y'all how much I appreciate y'all. Y'all saying? AG Tactical. Oh, okay. I saw an article in the New York Times that Dodge had been on modified movement. What's oh, so DB isn't getting out of his cell for a few days a week at a time for rag. Mm. What's my why are they on modified movement? I can't stand him. I think that um I think he wanted some attention. And I know I just can't remember what channel I saw it on, but I know at one point he was saying that Darrell had nobody there to represent him, and that's his fault. Okay. And so that's why he went down there to be on his side. But he is a piece of crap. Hey, Bob Kitten, how are you? Okay, Bama, let's watch a couple videos because that's all the questions I had. I thought it was more than that, but it's just really just people giving their opinions. So let's see what I have. I'm not going to do the interrogation because I want to do a part two to that. But let me see what I can find, just like clips that we can laugh at or whatnot. Hold on. Oh, you know what we can watch together? How much time do y'all have? If you want to, we can watch y'all want to watch the last pretrial hearing when he was pretending to have COVID? We can watch that together if y'all have time. And in that way I don't have to do a video on it. I can just concentrate on the interrogation. Yeah, Jay Prince is trash. Yes, y'all wanna watch that one? Okay. Here, I'll bring it up. Excuse me. Let me go back. Hold on.
Sit down.
Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. Okay, y'all. Has anybody seen this already? This is the final pretrial hearing right before. So if you remember, let me just, I gotta always recap a little bit if y'all don't mind. The first 2 days prior to this was when he they had jury selection. So if you remember, I did a video on that and he showed out, but he wasn't sick at all. And so if I remember correctly, he said that he started developing symptoms the weekend before. But if y'all remember the weekend before, which was that Friday, is when Judge Doro discharged his counsel. And so that's when she was telling him, I'm not going to give you any extra time or whatever. The trial is in 3 days. And so, you better make sure you're well prepared. And he was just like, it ain't gonna be challenging, whatever, whatever. And so when we got to Monday, the jury selection did not start until like 1 o'clock because he held her up. He just threw an epic fit or whatever, and that was the very first time that she had to remove him to, the neighboring courtroom or what have you. And he just wasn't cooperating. He wouldn't strike any of the potential jurors or anything like that. And so she had to postpone the jury selection until the next day. And so the next day, they didn't start until almost 2 o'clock because it was the same behavior or whatever. And again, he wasn't showing any type of signs of being ill or anything like that. He was, very alert or whatever. And so he lies and says, I started having symptoms, over the weekend, but I lost my sense of taste last night, which was Tuesday night. So now this is Wednesday when they're getting ready to have, the final hearing or whatever. And it's just crap. It's crap. Okay, so here we are. So everybody's seen it. I'm sure we all seen it. We can't get enough. Okay, but y'all ain't seen it with me. And I appreciate y'all for being here. So we're gonna all watch it together. If you're new here, please know I stop frequently to run my mouth because that's just what I do. That's what this channel is. Okay. So if you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you're just gonna have to go on YouTube and find it on your own. But that's what we do over here. Okay. So I've shared my screen. And let's just get into it.
Leslie Daisy and Zach Witchow, all appearing for the state of Wisconsin.
Sir, state your name for the record, please.
I'm here as a third party intervener in that matter, appearing as authorized representative for my client. I accept for value in return for value.
I'm sorry. Can y'all hear that okay? Let me know if y'all can hear that okay. And I just want to let y'all know that we just hit 500 subscribers. Yes, I appreciate y'all so much. 500 subscribers, y'all, in 4 weeks. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I appreciate y'all so much. Okay. Can y'all hear it? Because I'm about to push play. Let me know if y'all can't hear.
You all the charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any of the facts in the charging instruments. Also, Your Honor, I would like to make an offer for my appeal, if I may.
I'll get to that momentarily. The record will reflect that the individual known to this court to be Darrell Brooks is appearing in person in custody. We are, of course, outside the presence of the jury today. Since they are not here, we are dealing with some housekeeping type of issues.
Consent or identify by the name that you stated.
Okay, I'm stopping right away. Hey, this man, look, so he bent over on this chair. He's trying to sound sick. I guess he's just a baby size sit at this point. He's reading off of this paper or whatever, got his mask on or whatever, just bent over, acting a damn fool already.
Earlier, I want the record to reflect that, if I may.
The record will reflect. Thank you. I instructed my staff to make sure ample copies of the subpoena forms were provided to you. I did receive verification that those were hand delivered. Did you receive those, sir?
No, I did not.
We'll provide additional copies. Again, it's my understanding those were hand delivered. Mr. Brooks, I believe you were requesting 6 subpoena forms. I'm going to have my clerk print out 10 so that you have ample copies. And when that is done and those are handed to you, I'll make a record of that.
Will we address the inmate communication form I sent about the?
I have a number of issues I need to address, so yes, we'll get to that.
You don't believe that has that's an important issue that should be taken up before we continue any further in the proceedings?
I just want to make sure the state has a copy of what was forwarded first before we take that up.
Your Honor, I respectfully would like to state for the record and would like the record to reflect that I believe that this is an issue that should be addressed at this point before we go any further.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, it is a lot of people from Miss Carrie's channel. And Miss Carrie is a wonderful person. She has an amazing channel. I lost my train of thought. She has an amazing channel, guys. So go ahead and subscribe to her as well. She's one of the channels that has a lot of the documents if you're into that or whatever. She's done some amazing videos regarding Dawn and her antics. And I think somebody told me that she had a lot of the documentation from Darrell from back in his 20s or something like that. So yeah, go ahead and check her out.
Further.
Preparing to do that. after receiving the inmate communication form from Mr. Brooks requesting an adjournment, for the reasons stated in that document, I thought it important that we all have before us the current county protocol related to COVID-19.
I'm inclined to accept that if I don't
Sir,
believe that it's.
it will be placed on your table, but I will be referring to that today, so
Is
it's
it
been
law?
given to you.
Is it verified law, Your Honor?
Attorney Opper, do you acknowledge that the COVID-19 illness reporting protocol was provided?
I respectfully object.
Yes, Judge.
Your Honor, I would like an answer to that question if I may. Because I have not consented to or agreed to accept any paperwork that.
Sir, it's been
It's not
provided
okay.
to you. It's
So are you
something I'm going to
making-
consider. You don't want to
Are you
read it.
making-
You
are
want to
making a
disregard it. That's
judicial-
your choice.
Are you making a judicial determination that you don't have to answer that question I just asked you, Your Honor?
Mr. Brooks, the COVID-19 protocol has been placed in front of you. It is your choice whether you want to review it or not. So my understanding, just from the information Mr. Brooks has provided, which is part of the public record, is he is requesting an adjournment of all proceedings due to learning that he's on a COVID-19 protocol. I don't have any other information than that, sir.
That is very easy information to obtain.
Sir, I
Just-
have
just like-
an attorney for the
Excuse me,
county
Your Honor.
here
I
who will
don't- I don't wanna-
verify
I
that
don't
none
want
of
you to
that
think I'm trying to
information
argue
has
with-
been.
Okay, so oh God, I'm so sorry. I know you're like, girl, will you stop doing that in my damn ear? I'm sorry, y'all. Listen. So he's going back and forth with her about his COVID diagnosis, his COVID testing, and the jail protocol. So what he doesn't understand is that Judge Darrell is not in charge of the jail. That's a whole different sector. Furthermore, that the jail can't just release any type of medical information because that would be a violation of what? HIPAA. They're not going to call Judge Darrell in the middle of the night and be like, hey, Darrell said that he can't taste nothing. So what we gonna do? No, sir. Okay. And then I looked it up as far as the COVID protocol for jail was no different than what we did on the outside. Wash your hands, put your mask on. If needed, they will put him in another part of the jail. If there was like an outbreak in the part of the jail where he was housed, which it wasn't. And so he was able to stay inside of his jail because remember, these are just little minor symptoms that he had or whatever. And we're gonna see they were able to transport him to and from the jail with no issues, and so he's giving her a hard time already, and we're only a couple minutes in.
Been
Your Honor,
provided to me due to
I don't-
HIPAA.
I don't want you to think
requirements.
I'm arguing.
So I'm not
But
arguing it with you,
I
sir,
know, I
one
just
bit.
want you to know that I'm not arguing with you either, but I was right in the middle of finishing what I was saying.
So I need to stop you for a minute, Mr. Brooks,
I don't
because
consent to that, Your Honor, because
you don't have to consent,
I
but here
don't
we go.
consent or agree to being cut off right when I'm trying
All right,
to
I'm just
provide
gonna
the
talk
court with
over him for a
information.
minute. I do not have any other information regarding the COVID-19 protocol, meaning anything specific about you, Mr. Brooks, other than what was put in the inmate communication, which reads, due to just learning I'm on COVID-19 protocol, I respectfully ask for all proceedings to be adjourned at this time, which is why I asked you if there was any other information you wanted to provide me as I consider your request, because the jail has not provided me with any specific information.
That is incorrect because just yesterday you were trying to obtain the witness list that was in my cell. You had no problem whatsoever having the JA come down here to have me verify that they can go in my cell and search for that. So I find it very hard to believe that you can't consult with jail staff for them to tell you what is going on in my situation, where they know that I've just been seen by a nurse that placed me on this protocol for having a loss of taste, fatigue. We're talking about someone's health that can affect not just you, but anybody else, not just officers, but also inmates. We're talking about health and we're talking about safety. That has a lot of merit. And frankly, Your Honor, I'm afraid. I'm fully vaccinated and I've never had COVID. I don't know what I'm looking at here. I'm that was the last thing I was hoping I would be told today, Your Honor. So I'm afraid right now. I'm not feeling well. I don't know what's going on with myself. That's the reason why I put in the sick call slip initially. I had been telling officers for days that I hadn't been feeling well, but I didn't know what it was. But I
Did he just say he put in the sick call slip like he at work?
felt that I had to put in the sick call slip because I was not able to taste anything. That is the reason why I was seen by nurses. That is the reason why the COVID test was administered, and that's why I'm on the protocol as we speak.
Are you willing to discuss with me what tests were done?
I
Again,
don't,
I cannot obtain
I,
that
I don't,
information
I'm
on
not
my
a,
own.
I'm not a nurse, Your Honor. I mean, why can't it be verified with the nurse?
I have to verify it with you. The nurse will not provide me with this information.
But the jail can because they control the movement. They
Um,
control all inmate movement. I can't just go from my cell to a HSU.
Inmate movement is not the issue at the
It's
moment.
not, but I'm saying the jail itself controls the movement of the inmates. That's common sense, Your Honor.
I'm not here to talk about
I can't
inmate movement at the
I can't
moment. What
just
I'm
walk to
asking
the
you is,
HSU.
do you believe you were tested for COVID?
I obviously was tested for COVID. I would not be on the protocol if I was not.
Do you know
The
what
nurses,
type of test? Was it an oral swab, a nasal swab?
it was a nasal swab.
All right. Do you know when the results of that test will be back?
From my understanding, Friday. That's what I was told by the doctors. I would have to be at least on this protocol until the results come back, which he said the earliest would be Friday.
Were you offered a rapid test?
They said they do not do the rapid test.
So you weren't offered a rapid test?
They said they don't do them. I'm frankly, I'm very afraid right now because I don't know what's going on. This is new to me. Like I said, I'm fully.
Did anybody find a video for that? Because I know, like, after he had to go to the neighboring courtroom and we all saw him cry, but was there a point she probably just had them turn off the cameras because from what I read, like, I found an article that he jumped on the table and, like, sat on the results, and they had to manhandle him to get him down, and then they gave the judge the results. And then she had to take him to the neighboring courtroom because if I'm not mistaken, is that when he was trying to throw his shoe or whatever? Or that could have been a separate time. But anyway, he did put up a fight and then he had that epic meltdown. But I haven't seen any type of footage on that and I would kill to see that. I'm serious. I would kill to see it.
Vaccinated, Your Honor. I've been fully vaccinated since 2021. And so for this to just be sprung on me now to say this could possibly be a COVID thing, I've had people close to me that have passed away from COVID. I'm afraid as hell, Your Honor. That's the reason why I submitted the ICF for the adjournment. I was thinking at least until I can get the results at bare minimum. I don't think I'm asking something that's
Sir,
impossible for
if
Your
I
Honor to
can
grant.
make arrangements to have a rapid test brought to you and administered, are you willing to submit to that test?
Not at this time.
Why not?
Not at this time.
Why not?
Why can't I get the results for the test I already took?
But you're telling me you're scared, you're
Yes,
fearful.
I am.
But you don't
very.
want to take a test that might
I
tell
took
you today.
I took the test that he gave me.
And
if
you're
he
telling me
felt
that test result won't be available to you until at least Friday.
at least
Y'all look at Leslie. Look at our girl Leslie. What y'all think she wanted to say? Leslie cracks me up.
Friday, that's what I was
So
told.
tomorrow.
I was told that I would be
Sorry,
placed
day
on this
after.
protocol until the results came back. The earliest that the results would be back would be Friday.
So that sounds like, to me, I think that's what they call a PCR test.
I have no idea, Your Honor. I
Okay.
have no idea what it's called. Like
Let
I
me
said,
ask
I've
you-
never had COVID. I don't know the test names. I don't know what they call them.
I'm generally familiar with some of the testing for COVID, and I'm asking you once again, if a rapid test can be obtained, are you willing to take a rapid test?
How would that be obtained? How would it be obtained?
I would
was
work
told,
with,
I can only go by what was told to me, because when I was brought in there and they told me that they had to test me for COVID, I was immediately like, what do you mean you have to even test me for this? What is this about?
well,
I had
didn't
a
you
lieutenant.
report symptoms to them?
Excuse me, Your Honor. I had a lieutenant and officers present when I was asking all these
Don't you
questions.
dare interrupt him.
Why do I need? What's going on with this? Why is this? Why is this? Why is that? Because I didn't understand. Immediately in my head, I started to get afraid when they said they had to even test for COVID.
Well, were you reporting being sick and symptoms prior to them asking you to test?
Yes, I've told multiple officers. I didn't know what it was at first because it started with fatigue, with me feeling very fatigued. And I said, man, I don't know if it's just me being tired, or that's what I initially thought it was. Maybe I'm just a little exhausted. But I said, no, anybody knows their body. I said, this got to be something more, because I'm really, 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 I don't even have an appetite. Then when I'm trying to eat, I can't taste anything. That's what said, okay, now I need to put the medical sick
When did
card
you
slip in.
report these symptoms to the medical people or to even just a correctional officer?
A few days ago. Over the weekend is when I started to notice the fatigue. So I was telling officers, man, I don't feel good. I don't know if it's just I'm tired. Usually I don't just jump the gun and say something's wrong, because it could be anything. So
When did you report the loss of taste?
I reported the loss of taste last night.
At the moment, I told you this earlier, you're not within 6 feet of anyone else in this courtroom. And I believe that provides ample protection for the other people in this courtroom. As I consider this request, you've provided information to the court. You've been able to tell me the symptoms that you are reporting, your understanding of the protocols. Despite you reporting fatigue, I know, I don't know if you're standing or sitting on the chair. I can't quite tell. It appears like you're standing, but maybe leaning over the table. Oh, knee on the chair. Okay, but you've been able to very clearly, coherently make your position known to the court at this time, and I appreciate that. Let me ask Attorney Hopper if there's anything you.
Wait a minute. Y'all cutting up. John, don't start. Not tiny little baked beans. Y'all know his knee hurt, his shoulder hurt. He got COVID. What else wrong, y'all? He got the cut on his hand, the knee bandage. He ain't gonna talk till he get the cut on his hand. They need a bandage on it. He's scared as hell. What else he saying? This is just all too much for him. He need a couple more days.
Would want to provide or state at this time regarding this request?
Yes, Your Honor, a couple of things. Number one, we believe this is nothing more than a further delay tactic by Mr. Brooks. I can advise the court, as an officer of the court and as an offer of proof, that he is.
How could
Mr.
that?
Brooks,
how
did
could
you
that
hear
even-
Attorney Hopper interrupt you when you were talking?
Well, I respectfully object to
You
that.
can object, your objection's noted, but you need to let her state what she needs to state. I will give you an opportunity to respond. I'd encourage you to use paper and a pen to write down. That's the rules of decorum in the courtroom, sir. We generally avoid interrupting one another.
Hey, Maya.
Is a sign that we all understand that this is a place of dignity. It is a place of respect. So I will give you an opportunity to respond, but you need to give.
Let me read this. Hold on. Oh, Bama. That's sad. I'm sorry. Well, we greet you over here, girl. I appreciate you for being here.
Give Attorney Opper an opportunity without interruption. Go ahead, Attorney Opper.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, again, we believe this is a delay tactic in line with the defendant's behavior since about the August 25th or 26th motion hearing. I can advise the court, as an officer of the court, that Mr. Brooks has been saying for the last several weeks in his recorded jail calls to his mother and others that he's going to get this trial delayed or adjourned or pushed back. This behavior, again, on the 11th hour is 100% consistent with that. I believe that if the court wanted more information from the jail administrator, she is present and could provide that information. I believe Mr. Brooks has waived any HIPAA privacy rights he may have in that regard and indicated that to the court. The fact that he claims to have started reporting symptoms as far back as the weekend, we're probably right up against the 5 days right now. If he started this on Saturday, which I don't believe there's any record of, we're at 5 days right now. And certainly the court's offer to...
I never once said...
Mr. Brooks,
I never
have
said
an
I never
opportunity
no
momentarily.
no.
You
I
need to stay
respectfully
quiet.
object to that because that has no merit.
Mr. Brooks,
I-
it's not
she's
your
saying-
time
no,
to speak.
No, I respectfully object. I never reported saying what day. I never said a day. And if you saying she's saying she has jail phone calls, well, why aren't they present? Why can't they be verified by sworn affidavit and brought into this court to be?
Oh, Lord, y'all. My sister is here. Y'all say what's up. Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
Shown that this is a delay tactic, as you say it is. How come it can't be shown by sworn affidavit? Can you provide proof of that?
All right, Mr. Brooks, I've given you a little
Just
bit of
like-
leeway
just like you're
because we
saying-
are outside.
So just so y'all know, there's no sworn affidavit for jail calls. The state would have to subpoena the jail calls, and they don't need to subpoena anything. And from my understanding, he had people on there giving him legal advice, and so it would be inadmissible in court. Furthermore, it would just make him look bad because I feel like if you're on there telling them that you're going to delay, why would you want them to bring that in there to prove that you're trying to delay? This
Outside
dude.
the
I
presence
waived
of the
something.
jury.
I haven't given consent to waive anything. I've simply told the judge that I had no issue with her verifying with the jail that this protocol is in effect and that I was in effect tested
In
for
effect.
COVID-19. How could that be a delay tactic? If that was a delay tactic, why would I even need to be tested and placed on the protocol? Why does everybody have to have on masks to bring me down here?
What?
Mr. Brooks,
there no-
I've
is there
given
no verification?
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to warn you now that you have interrupted a couple of times. You interrupted
I have to
Attorney
be able-
Opper
I have to
twice.
be able to speak up.
You're
Your
now
Honor.
interrupting me yet again. We all were polite and had you
That
provide
was not
information.
polite. That was
That's
abuse.
at
That
least the
was
third
abuse.
interruption of this court.
That was abuse by the prosecution. That was abuse.
Mr. Brooks, let me finish.
No, because
No.
that's
So he's outright
here.
refusing to listen.
I would
He's
not sit
outright
here.
talking over me
I didn't
at the
refuse
moment.
anything. I didn't refuse
Mr.
anything.
Brooks, we are at
I'm
the
not
point
gonna.
yet
I'm
again
not
where
gonna
I
sit.
will put you in the other courtroom because
And
you
I
are
don't
not
consent. I don't
able.
consent to being removed. I have not waived the right to be present, and I don't agree with that.
Mr. Brooks,
Does the
I
record
have
reflect?
provided
does
you
the-
on multiple occasions and it's should be in
And-
front of you.
No,
And
I
if
don't.
not,
I don't acknowledge that. I haven't agreed
You
to
have been
it, and I
advised
haven't
on
given
multiple
consent of it.
occasions that you need to abide by the standards of courtesy and decorum for the courts of Wisconsin. Because you are a litigant, you're both a named defendant, you are now acting as your own attorney by
I'm not a named
representing
defendant.
yourself,
I don't recognize the name
that all of the
the
rules
state
of courtesy and
put on
decorum
their
apply
complaint.
to
I don't
you.
recognize that name.
I need to warn you that further interruptions may very well result in you being removed to the other courtroom where you would participate by audiovisual means. From the jail administrator, thank you very much. And just to get some general information and perhaps even some specific information regarding the what Mr. Brooks has provided, since he indicated I could verify all of this information with either the
Oh, hey,
lieutenant
Maya.
or others
Sorry, I
who
didn't
are
even see you.
present.
Hey, girl.
So I believe we have Angela Wallenhaupt here. If she would come up to the witness stand.
Your Honor, if I don't want to mix issues, but the inmate communication form from September 28th also still needs to be addressed by the court, and I think the jail administrator may have some information relevant to that issue as well.
All right, thank you. I
Please.
have a list of a bunch of things I want to go over, and I'm gonna.
So, Your Honor, respectfully, just so I'm clear, are we addressing the issue at hand now,
We are.
or
Yeah.
are we addressing something from September?
Well, I will get to the September inmate communication form at some point during this hearing, but right now I'm addressing the most recent inmate communication form that is dated October 5, and that addresses your request for an adjournment.
Judge, I have not reviewed his medical record prior to arriving here.
All right, fair enough. Do you have an understanding of what that is
Yes,
based
however,
on information provided to you?
yes, however, he has not signed a release allowing me to speak to the court. So if you are ordering me to speak to the court, I can speak to what my understanding is.
Mr. Brooks, I took your statements earlier that you would not object to me asking jail staff about the current situation to verify the information you provided. Is that still correct?
I said that I wouldn't have any issue with pertaining to myself. I don't know. I'm not speaking about anybody else in the jail. I'm not speaking about what everybody's situation is different.
Right. And I'm specifically referring to your situation.
Well, the question was asked in
X.
how does it pertain to me? It was pertaining to me, all the questions, which it came up when I said that there was a lieutenant and there were officers present when I took this test from the nurse.
Right. I find information that you're to me regarding what was reported by you, what tests were administered, and why you're on the protocol with the jail administrator. First of all, do you understand what I want to ask her about?
No, I do not understand.
Did you hear what I said just now?
I do not understand.
But did you hear what I said?
Frankly, Your Honor, I think she would probably be the wrong person to be asking because she wasn't present.
You must understand then what I'm saying if you think she's not the person who would provide that
No, I don't
information.
understand.
So
I didn't consent to understanding or agreeing to that. No, I do not understand.
all right. I took his statements earlier. I realize you don't have a written waiver as to be a verbal waiver of any privacy rights under HIPAA, and I am directing you to answer the question.
It was brought to my attention shortly before the lunch hour that he had made statements that prompted the medical department to follow up. As I said before, I have not reviewed the medical record. It is my understanding.
Hold on, y'all. Let me look through these comments real quick. Okay, so Debbie's gone. Bye, Debbie. Maya. What is John talking about? Is he behaving, y'all? Thank you, dog mom. Let's see. Oh, why the judge couldn't get the info from the jail? Are you talking about his medical records? She she's not privy to that. So that's protected under HIPAA. And so he would have to sign off a release form for her to be able to access his medical records. So she can't just call in jail and say, I need to know if he's been exhibiting any type of COVID symptoms. What symptoms were they? Was he administered a test? Which one? What time? What day? She would have to get him to sign off on a release for that. And so that's what she keeps telling him. So her next best bet is to ask the jail administrator to see what information she can get, but the jail administrator can't give her much of anything either because again, he's protected by HIPAA. So what this girl talking about? He made us all tired. He off the chain. Or forcing to be understood. Mm. Right. It's that and too, like, I don't know if y'all really was into my theory about how I felt when I gave y'all like the whole case law about that and how, if he repeatedly kept saying that he didn't understand, then it would force her hand to have him to get an attorney. Although we all know he couldn't have standby, whatever reason he thought that, he can try to get the Sixth Amendment to work in his favor and reword it to whatever fit his narrative. But I really believe it was the soft sit along with um just him trying to get an attorney or throw the case. John, what time you get off work? She asked for the results after the first time Guth testifies. Right. So she can order. So on her end, since they're in court now and he's complaining of COVID, she can force those results now because he's trying to hold up the trial. But she can't call the jail and say, turn over his whole medical record. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that they forced him to take a rapid test, and that's how she was able to get the results. So, thank you, dog mom. Yeah. So, like I said, I think it's because she was the one that administered the test and she read it on the record. And I don't and the jury wasn't there too. So remember that the jury wasn't there. She read it on the record and then she said that didn't she say that it would be sealed or something like that if I remember correctly? But she can't go again and call the jail and say I need, you know, this, I need that, I need this. So, yeah, see, he waived his right. So she was able to I don't like I said, I think she tested him again to get those results that because it happened that same day, didn't it? Didn't she read the results that same day? Because I don't think he went to his cell to get any type of results of anything. So I'm not sure. If anybody knows, let me know.
He was administered a test. He was also offered another test to which he refused.
Do you have any information regarding whether this other test would have been a rapid test?
I believe it to be.
Do you have those tests available in the facility to offer to an individual?
I have one available right now.
Mm-mm.
Can I ask a question, Your Honor?
Of me or of the witness?
Of jail administration.
Go ahead, you can ask a question.
Ms. Wallenhoff, if there were different types of tests available, why wasn't I administered the correct test when I first was tested? Why would essentially I would be asked to take a test, take that test, then turn around again and be told to take a whole nother test. In my mind, that's almost like some type of ploy or something, some type of scheme. Why?
Sir, what's the question?
I asked the question, why would I not be given the correct test from the get-go instead of having to take two tests? If I've already taken
Mr.
one
Brooks,
test,
you have to give her an opportunity to answer, and you got
Okay, hold on, wait a minute. So they would deliver Friday. Okay, so Friday, did he wear jail clothes or did he wear a suit? Because here I'm gonna get ready to pull that up. Hold on. Excuse me. He had on the orange attire because at the end of this day, he let me remember what happened. Because the recording ends after God, I can't remember because they went over some housekeeping issues, but it was related to like unanswered ICFs, um, and then just like narrowing down like the witness list and things like that. But give me a second because I have so here it is. This is when I don't know the date of it though. Let me see something. Hold on a second. Oh man, hold on.
not feeling well. Frankly, I'm very afraid right now. Started with fatigue. Then when I'm trying to eat, I can't taste anything. I'm terrified because I have yet to even get the results back. My intention was to at least be able to get the results back. I was made aware of I didn't look at it yet, so it's in my paperwork somewhere.
Mr. Brooks, you raised this issue yourself, and I'd like to know the result.
I would too, but I was kind of in the middle of preparing for my defense.
Open it up and read it, please.
Your Honor, I don't consent to being talked to in that fashion. I will not consent to that, Your Honor.
I'm going to clear the courtroom. We're going to go off the record, and we're going to find that piece of paper. The test result for COVID-19 was negative.
Oh, Darrell. He crying with his whole heart, y'all. Y'all seen that? He rocking back and forth. Okay, hold on. Let me catch up on these comments. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, y'all want me to find the article because I don't want to wear Bama eyes out. Bama green eyes got all the tea. So I just know that she read it into the record, but I don't know the day. Excuse me. Okay, so he made the choice to take the test. So he took the rapid, gel clothes. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay, that's right. Because didn't he say that he was scared to wear the other clothes because it was like court issued clothing or whatever, and he was scared because he had, he thought he had the Rona. She gave him a test during lunch and put him in the other courtroom because he was acting an ass. Okay, October 7th. So October 7th was right. Okay, so Friday. So is that when that's the test results that she read? Ooh. Oh my god, they were. He was just so defeated because I think that I don't think he realizes the power that she has, you know? I think that he just knew I think that down inside he knew that she would not have access to she wasn't privy to his medical information, you know what I mean? And I don't know, y'all said that he decided to take the test, but I don't think that she was gonna make him take another test. I think that he just thought she was gonna be like, all right, well, we'll just start Monday, and then that would give him enough time to come up with something else. So, they done forced them test up out of him, them test results, and he just done for. It was that Friday. He worked jail closing to that Monday. Okay, so he took the test what, Friday? Or he just waited until Friday to get the results, and then she got the results, and then she read them? Is that what happened? Exactly. That's exactly what happened. What a mess. Y'all know Imma look for an article, though. Hold on.
Just ask the question.
Can she answer it then? Do you want her to answer it? I presume you do since you asked the question, so you need to stop talking so that she can answer it, okay?
Oh.
Abuse, Your Honor.
Limit the
I'm sorry.
abuse.
I don't appreciate being talked to that way, Your Honor.
Your objection
Excuse
is
me.
noted. Go ahead and answer.
Judge, I would prefer not to answer that question. He states the wrong test. I don't know what he's speaking of. I have not reviewed the medical record with what test was administered, so I would prefer not to answer that question.
All right, fair enough.
I did not say the wrong test. I said 2 tests. If it was, why would I need to take 2 tests for the same symptom?
Your Honor, I object to relevance and beyond the scope of this witness's knowledge, and it also assumes a fact, not an evidence.
I didn't have clarity on the answer to that question. Essentially, what I'm asking is, why would I need to take 2 tests for the same thing? There shouldn't, if I'm taking a COVID test, why would I need to take another one?
And I'm gonna object as to lack of foundation and beyond the scope of this witness's knowledge, Your Honor.
The objection is sustained. I'll direct the witness. She does not need to answer that question. Next question, if you have one, please.
I still don't have clarity on that, Your Honor. I'm
Look at
I'm
Leslie
baffled.
snitching.
Do you have another question? A different question?
Would it be any way to verify why I would need to take 2 tests for the same symptoms?
I'm not sure I understand the question, sir. I think
I'm referring to the nurse who administered the test.
the nurse isn't here, though. This is Jail Administrator Wallenhaupt.
And that's why it's hard for me to wrap my head around why Mrs. Wallenhoff would be called to testify when she was not present. I think the wrong person is testifying.
Do you have any other
Because
questions
the
for
reason
her?
why I
I
say
understand
that-
what you're saying. Do you have any other questions for her, though?
Are you sure you wrapping your head around what I'm saying, Your Honor?
Do you have any other questions for this witness?
To your knowledge, you just said that you have a rapid test available right now. When did that become available? Because I was told otherwise.
I know there is a rapid test available right now. As I stated before, it is my understanding that you were offered a rapid test and you refused.
So why was I not offered a rapid test from the get-go?
Objection, relevance.
If she knows, she may answer.
I do not know the answer to that. I have not reviewed the medical record, jail contracts with a medical provider.
Thank you. Next question, if you have one.
So there are more than one type of COVID test administered by this jail.
Again, the jail contracts, Judge, I prefer not to answer that. The jail contracts with a medical provider. I do not direct testing.
I believe the record's clear that a rapid test was offered. It was declined by Mr. Brooks. The record's also clear that
I
he did
object to that,
submit.
Your Honor.
He did submit to a test. To further answer it might be speculative. So do you have another question?
So would it be fair to say, you just said it would be speculative, so would it be fair to say that it'd be speculative that the second test would be a rapid test?
She just said she had the
I
rapid
will
test
make-
with her.
A determination on your motion after all of the evidence and testimony on this issue is received.
Is that an
I
answer,
can't
Your Honor?
answer that question at this
Well,
time,
I'm
sir.
asking it of Ms. Wallenhoff. Is it because we just said it would be speculative?
Well, you
So-
were looking at me when you said that,
Well,
so are you, and I'm not gonna answer that question. I'm not a witness in this.
The
I
reason
make
why I
the
was-
determination
The reason why I was
ultimately.
looking at Your Honor is because
Do you have another question
I'm
for
still trying to
Jail
figure out
Administrator
how-
Wallenhaupt?
I thought testimony was supposed to be the prosecution and the defense's time to
Sir,
ask
do you
questions.
have another question? Otherwise, I'm gonna ask the state if they have any more for this witness.
I asked the question, would it be fair to say that it's speculative about what the second test actually was?
Mr. Brooks, I don't understand your question.
What isn't to understand about it? If you were offered a test,
Objection, relevance.
no, it's a question.
Hold on. If
I'm
you're
getting some-
asking a
I'm
hypo-
going somewhere.
I'll let you get the question out, but I would just note you're asking her a hypothetical that, given her role, she might not be qualified to answer, but you can go ahead and ask it.
Well, it's not hypothetical. It's very logical. If you were offered a test and you took it, why would you need to essentially take another test that could have been done right from the beginning? If there would be any issues, if there would be
Right, Mr. Brooks, it's not relevant what she would do. So that's essentially an argumentative
Okay, so
question,
why-
and
so
it's
why would I
not
do it?
relevant. So
why would
sit
I do it
down.
then?
You're done asking questions because you've
So
now
is that a
asked.
judicial determination?
I haven't made a judicial determination yet.
You're
Go ahead,
practicing
Attorney
law from the
Opper.
bench by being able to ask
Mr.
certain
Brooks?
questions of yourself.
Mr. Brooks, okay, here's your warning. I'm giving Attorney Opper an opportunity
So
to
you're
ask this
practicing law from
witness
the bench.
questions, and if you interrupt her, you will be removed to the next courtroom.
I don't consent to being removed to the next courtroom. I don't consent to even being at these proceedings if I'm not able to put on a proper defense, which is my constitutional right to be able to do so. I haven't agreed to any contracts. I haven't consented to any contracts, and I have
Your
not
objection
consented-
is noted. Attorney Opper, go ahead.
I have not consented
you.
to
Ms.
an
Wallenhoff,
estoppel either. Jay, for
to your
relevancy.
knowledge, are those
Hold on.
materials?
The objection.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. To your knowledge, if you know, are his discovery materials currently in his jail cell?
Yes, ma'am, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
I object to
Is
that,
he
Your Honor.
still
I object to
able-
that, Your Honor. I'm not allowed
Sir,
to
her
keep.
answer stands. There's no question to which to
I
object.
object to that. There is.
You can't testify at the moment. If you want to provide further information after she is done testifying, I will give you that opportunity.
Will she?
Your
will she be able
objection
to-
is
Will she
overruled.
be able to stay right there so I can ask the question?
It's not your time yet. You have to wait. So this is the final warning. Okay, I've given you a lot of leeway today.
You have not, Your Honor. You haven't.
What?
No,
I
you
am
haven't.
turning to Attorney Opper. It is her opportunity, her turn to ask this witness a question.
And it is my right to be able to object, just like she objected
And-
when I was asked the
Right,
question.
and when the court rules on an objection, usually the party who objects stays silent. I rule on the objection. The parties don't debate the ruling. It's noted for appeal. And then we
I would-
move on.
Then I would like to put you on notice that I will.
Okay, did y'all say that the day that he threw the shoe was that the same day that he got the COVID results? John, here you go. Because I think I have, hold on. What was the day that he ripped his shirt off? Was that after the COVID results? Oh God. Okay, so no, that was the day he took his shirt off. So Friday, when he got his test results, was that just the end of the day? They were off the record and he got the test results and then that was the end of it? What happened when he took his shirt off? He threw the shoe and took his shirt off the different day. Right. Do y'all remember what day that was? I think I have a date on this article. It says October 14th, but let's see. So the date of this video occurred October 5th, unless they just hold on. It says no, sorry, it happened October 6th. So what was October 6th? That was her first day of trial, right? That had to be that Thursday. What happened? Why did he get so upset? Right, he got the results and he wouldn't show them. I remember that. That was so y'all saying that was Friday. Excuse me. So what happened? What the heck happened on hold on here. I'm just gonna look at this. Hold on. Okay, here it says an incident report has been filed by Waukesha County deputies in connection to a situation they had with Darrell Brooks in the courtroom. It happened during the first week of the trial in connection. Okay, we know that already. October 6th, deputies said Darrell Brooks was asked to walk with bailiffs to the other courtroom after the judge had removed him for being disruptive. He had on soft ankle restraints and his hands were free. Detectives said for the prior 3 days, he wore the same ankle restraints, those shock devices, and didn't have any trouble walking. One deputy went under the front of the table where Brooks was seated to remove the lock, but Brooks refused to put his feet under the table. Deputy then moved to the side of the table to unlock the restraint. After asking him to walk to the other courtroom, he said he didn't consent to being moved and gathered his papers slowly. So this was the day that he got the bruise and the cut. But why can't I remember what happened? Deputies said Brooks mentioned something about his ankle restraints, and he was informed that they were the same as they've been all week. The deputy then placed his hands on Brooks' back to guide him to the other courtroom, and Brooks pushed his body back into the deputy's hand and took clunky steps. Once in the other courtroom, another deputy went to secure the tether to the table and his ankle restraints, but Brooks remained standing and did not comply with moving into position. The deputy said he backed away from the table and moved to the left away from the tether. Two deputies then placed their open hands on the side and back to guide him to the table, and he pushed back. They said he would not move forward, and when they brought the ankle restraint forward, Brooks tensed up, put his hands in the air, and leaned over the table. Deputies said his legs were locked when they tried to secure the restraint, so one deputy put his foot under Brooks' heel to push his foot forward. The deputy said each time he tried, the table just slid forward, which indicated to him that Brooks was keeping his legs locked. The deputy also wrote he could feel Brooks pushing hard against his leg. After the third try to move his foot, the deputy knelt to the ground and was able to take control of the tether, while another deputy held onto the restraints. Brooke remained tense and resistive, but the deputy was successful. He was verbally aggressive and upset. At one point, the deputy said he picked up his shoe and grabbed it like you would a small club. He lunged forward, but he didn't throw the shoe. And then gonna tell them, why don't you just try me now? Y'all remember this? Pre-trial, but this is the last day of pre-trial. What we watching now was the absolute last day of pre-trial. This was the day that Judge Darrell has set aside to take care of some housekeeping matters, and I'm trying to find that article so I can read to y'all what they did after she removed him to the next courtroom. So I'm still trying to find that. So this was the last day of pre-trial. This was that Wednesday. The next day was the first day of trial when Erica took the stand and when Brooks said that he recognized a juror that made hand gestures at him. Nope, the shirt didn't come off during jury selection. He wore a black suit during jury selection. It was actually a really nice black suit too. Wednesday was Coco test. He did not take rapid. Results were Friday. Shirt day was first day of actual trial. So that had to be excuse me. So the first day of trial was Thursday, right? I think the shirt off was during jury selection. It wasn't. He had on that black suit. Remember I did that video? It was the very first thing he did when actual trial started. So the trial started on the 7th. That was the next day then. Yes, because if they roughed him up too much, then they would be violating his civil rights, and that would be a lawsuit. So yeah, they had to be gentle as long as he wasn't physically combative with them. Now, had he, put the paws on them, that would be a different story. Then they got to do what they got to do. But as long as he's just like, gesturing or whatever, then they just got to try to de-escalate as best they can. Erica testified day 2. Was it day 2? Don't let me get my timeline out. Right. Okay, so what happened day 1 then, y'all? Who came up there day 1? What day is Erica's birthday? Who testified day 1? I gotta look it up. Who testified day 1? Okay, Darrell Brooks trial. Excuse me. Okay, week 1, the state called 8 witnesses. Yeah, Erica Brooks. So this was October 9th. Erica Brooks testified. Hold on. Okay, so the first week, October 3rd, was jury selection, right? That was that Monday. He had on the black suit. Tuesday was day 2. That was a continuation of jury selection. So that was October 4th. Okay. And then Wednesday, October 5th, was the COVID claim and the housekeeping matters. Um, Thursday was opening statement. So that's October 6th. This is day 4. And okay, so let me see. It says the day started Thursday morning, much like the prior 3 days did, with interruptions. 10 hours later, the judge complimented Brooks, and the defendant thanked the judge for her comments. All right, with moments of the proceedings getting underway. Thursday at 8:30, Brooks interrupted her multiple times. She was trying to do the jury instructions before opening statements. Uh, he was removed to the courtroom. Okay, so that it was day 4, which was Thursday. So he kept interrupting during opening statements, and that's when he was removed to the other courtroom, and that situation took place. He refused to change into a suit and tie. Um, he ripped off his shirt, and he said he had the cut and the bruise. Let me see. Okay, hold on, y'all. By mid-morning, they did the preliminary jury instructions. Before 3, he was back in the neighboring courtroom. So Corey, hold on, let me go back up here so I can see the comments. Didn't Corey testify before Erica, y'all? Okay, you're right. Corey. Okay. Lord have mercy. Mhm. Mhm. All right, let's get back to the video. Okay.
Be appealing that judicial decision that you are making.
Next question, Attorney Opera.
The judicial determination.
Ms. Molenhop, while on COVID protocol, does Mr. Brooks have access to the tablets in his jail cell?
Yes, ma'am.
And that tablet has legal materials available for him to access if he so chooses. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And while he is on COVID protocol, does he have access to the conference room, which also contains a computer with further legal materials?
Yes, ma'am.
And nothing about the protocol would restrict his access to any of those materials. Is that correct?
Correct, ma'am.
And you've
I
indicated
I
previously.
object to that respectfully, Your Honor.
So an objection goes to whether there's lots of rules of evidence that apply, but if you're objecting to her answer, that's a different thing. You can argue the meaning of that later. Okay,
not
the
the
objection, but then you have to say objection before she answers. You objected after she answered.
didn't answer the last
The
question.
objection is noted, it's overruled, her answer may stand. Next question.
Ms. Wollenhop, you're aware that there has been digital discovery made available to Mr. Brooks for him to view in the Waukesha County Jail,
I
correct?
respectfully object to that.
Overruled, she may answer.
Correct.
He would view that digital discovery on the computer in the conference room in his pod,
I
correct?
respectfully object to that.
Overruled, you may answer.
Correct, ma'am.
And
So you're gonna
the
overrule
protocol-
everything, Your Honor?
Yep.
All right, Mr. Brooks, you have got to stop. It's fine if you object. I will rule on it as I deem appropriate under the rules of evidence, which, by the way, I provided a copy for you. See that big book over there?
No, I don't
It
see
has
it.
the criminal
I
statutes.
don't see
It has the traffic code. It
I
has
don't
the
see
rules
it.
of evidence. Well, it's on your table. It's
That- I
behind the
don't-
microphone and it's there. I've provided it to you as a courtesy so that you have that available to you.
Anything to me.
Right, I'm
Something
directing the
that-
bailiffs to
something
remove
that
them
may
to the
have-
other courtroom.
something-
I've provided ample opportunity for
never-
Mr.
I've never
Brooks to
taken
abide by the
anything-
simple
I've
rules
never
of
taken
decorum
anything,
and
Your Honor.
civility.
Your Honor, I don't
He is-
consent or agree to what you are doing.
Your lack of
don't give
consent is
consent.
noted for the
I
record.
don't give consent to an estoppel. I don't.
I'll
give
make a more
consent-
full record when we
I
are
don't give
open
consent
again to
an
the public.
estoppel. I don't give consent to be removed.
Madam
from
Reporter,
being
the
able
record
to
should
exercise
reflect,
my
the court is
constitutional
stepping
right.
off the bench. You may step off.
I
if you
move.
want.
I
You
move
may.
for a motion to dismiss. You still haven't even ruled on the claim. There's no one that even has a claim against me here.
Mr. Brooks is muted, so I can appropriately make my record here today.
telephone if he wants.
Objection.
An adjournment of the proceedings. All right, go ahead, Attorney Opera, for the record. The mute has been undone.
In order for him to view the contents of the thumb drive, he'd have to use the computer in the conference room, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
And that is available to Mr. Brooks upon his request, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
And nothing
Hold on
about,
a second. Mr. Brooks, the basis for your objection at this time?
That is irrelevant to why I'm asking for adjournment. I was not asking for adjournment based on being able to utilize the conference room for a tablet.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Her answers may stand.
nothing about this protocol then would limit his access to any of his discovery materials, correct, ma'am?
Objection.
Overruled. She may answer.
Correct, ma'am.
And he would have access to the telephone if he wants it.
Objection.
Overruled. She may answer.
Yes, ma'am.
And there would be nothing that would restrict his ability to come to court each day.
Objection.
Overruled.
Correct, ma'am.
And when he comes to court each day, he has the ability to bring whatever discovery materials with him that he wants. Is that correct?
Objection.
Overruled.
Correct, ma'am.
And in fact, there's a card available for him to do that if he so requests.
Objection.
Overruled.
That is correct, ma'am.
He started feeling not well.
I meant to tell y'all this. So I learned that in Wisconsin, you don't have to take the bar. You can, if you go to Marquette and or University of Wisconsin, once you graduate, you can apply for your law license, and then that's it. So I wonder if Darrell knew that, and if that's why he always asked them for their proof of their law license, or to something to that effect, if y'all remember. But I just learned that. I don't know if anybody else knew that, but you don't have to take and pass the bar. You can just apply for a law license after graduation in Wisconsin if you go to those two schools. Just wanted to tell y'all that.
I believe were his words over the weekend. And is there any notice to any correctional officer or jail supervisor that you're aware of that Mr. Brooks reported that to them?
Objection.
Overruled.
I have not reviewed the jail medical record. This came to my attention shortly before the lunch hour.
Okay, I guess that maybe I'm asking a question I don't know the answer to. If he were to say to one of the officers or lieutenant,
Hold on a second. Was that an objection? Or just a comment under your breath? Your objection's noted. It's overruled.
Of course. What specific protocols would prohibit being able to shower?
objection, irrelevant.
I'm not gonna, it's sustained. Mr. Brooks, I'm going to honor the request of the jail administrator not to talk generally about protocols, given the operations of the jail, but you may ask her if there's something specific as to you.
Would any protocol that I am on currently prohibit me from being able to shower and or shave?
Do you speak moving forward?
As of right now,
You would be allowed to shower on the protocol you're currently on.
would I be able to shave?
You would be able to shave.
Would that be with the clippers or a razor?
Objection, relevance.
Overruled. She may answer.
Mr. Brooks, we would monitor behavior and other factors in that and make a determination. There's procedures operationally in the jail that you can request those items. And you
That
could
would be independent of the COVID protocols.
correct, ma'am.
So, to your knowledge, are you aware that we are only permitted, and I'm saying myself as well, being housed in the jail, that we are only permitted razors once a week and clippers only once a month?
Judge, I would prefer not to answer questions in regards.
Okay, so he knows that the COVID fiasco is not going to work. So now he's trying to say that they're violating his basic human rights by not allowing him to shower as he needs to and groom because he's under this COVID protocol. Um, yeah, so.
jail operations.
Right. I'll honor the request of the jail administrator. It goes beyond the scope of this hearing. We're a little far field. I gave you a little bit of leeway, but whether you shower or shave would, in my humble opinion, not be relevant to the issue of whether you can assist in your own defense.
Would you care to share with the court on record the types of protocols that I am currently on outside of the COVID protocol?
Objection, irrelevance. Goes to jail operations.
Sustained.
Does my specific protocol change the normal time that I would be allowed out of my cell?
Judge, again, that speaks to jail operations.
Mr. Brooks, unless you have a specific question related to access to your materials, I'm going to have her not answer that.
To the best of your knowledge, are you aware that there is a certain times that the phone will be available? You have other inmates that
Let's
have
not
time
talk about
out
other
there.
inmates, but again, I'm sorry for the interruption, but I want to try to get us through these questions. If you're asking,
Okay, let me ask it another way.
okay, go ahead.
Being that because of this COVID protocol, I won't have my usual time out of my cell that I would have regularly, would I be able to utilize the phone in the same manner that I would be able to use the phone had I not been placed on this protocol? Or would it be strictly by me having to just ask?
I guess I'm unclear as to the manner you speak of. What are you referring to?
I think I was very clear when it.
Are you trying to
You
ask
are
her?
aware, are you aware, which I know you are, that the protocol that I'm on outside of the COVID protocol prohibits me from being able to utilize the phone at certain times of the day.
That's not her
Would the
problem.
COVID protocol prohibit that any further?
Mr. Brooks, are you trying to ask whether the COVID protocol impacts your phone privileges?
That's what I just said. No, not in a sense, because I think it's more accurate with the way that I asked it.
But your question
Yeah.
assumes facts not in evidence and that are beyond the scope of this proceeding. I'm concerned about what, if any, impact the COVID protocol has on your ability to prepare for this case.
The reason why we're having this didn't have anything to do with
John.
limiting my preparation.
So
Oh,
you're,
That
Lord.
was the real issue.
I think it's related to
I just
the,
wanted that clear. I just wanted that clear.
I understand.
That's all. Outside of the COVID protocol, the protocol that I've been on for a very, very long time. So my phone use is limited to certain hours of the day, which works out.
all right,
for
Mr.
my
Brooks, we're
family.
getting a little far field. I need to make a determination on your request. So I'll ask you one last,
You haven't let me finish what
I
I
will- Mr. Brooks, I will ask you one last time. Do you have any other questions for the jail administrator?
Your Honor, what you're doing right now is you're not being fair right now.
All right, Mr. Brooks has not answered. Unless there's any further questioning from the state based upon the additional questions that were asked, then I'm going to have her step down.
I just want to ask of the court if you're intending to take up his inmate communication form that was dated September 28, 2022 as well.
Christine, I've watched the trial maybe 2 times, in certain parts a little more than I probably should have. Um, and I'm not gonna do the whole trial. I'm just picking out certain points. I was gonna do a video on this one, but it's really not too much to say. This one is just for laughs, for real. But to answer your question, yes, I've watched it.
While Ms. Wollenhop is on the stand, I just have a few questions related to that, Your Honor.
I object to that. Relevancy, what does it have to do with what she's testifying to right now today? They're two separate issues.
You brought it up.
Oh, I do have the document number, 258.
Objection for relevancy.
Hold on, Mr. Brooks. I need to find the document in my record. 258, you said?
Yes.
I am going to allow the jail administrator to be questioned regarding document 258. So I will print it off in that courtroom so that he has that.
So that I have this correct on the record, you're making a judicial determination to allow testimony of something that has no relevancy to what's being raised today.
I'm going to address it after I address the motion to adjourn that you filed. But since we have her here, I'm going to have the parties question her on that document as well. It promotes judicial economy, and that's my decision. So go ahead.
Can I put Your Honor on notice that intend to appeal that decision?
Your statements noted of record. Can someone confirm whether that document was given to Mr. Brooks as well? I did print it to the printer over there. I have that ability. It was, all right.
Me too, same. But see, what I'm worried about is that when I get to the end of my list, what I'm gonna do. Because I think my next trial will be Letitia Stout. Has anybody watched that trial? That one, even though she didn't like testify or represent herself in court, it's a lot of layers to that one. And that was a 3-year process from like when Gannon went missing to when they found him. She was in jail for 3 years, and then finally the trial itself. Um, but there's a lot of information. Her prison calls were released. Her jail calls are now available. A lot of court documents are available that I have access to. Hold on. But I really wanted to do a video comparing her to Candy Montgomery. Um, I don't know if you know who that is, but basically she's a woman from I think Texas, but she basically unalived her neighbor and went home, showered, didn't tell anybody, of course, and just lived her life. And finally, she turned herself in, but she claimed a DID defense. And so I wanted to do a video because she got off, uh, comparing her case to Letitia's. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Ronnie O'Neal, Bama. I don't know if I can, excuse me. I don't know if I can deal with him. I don't know. I have this case on my list. I do have that case on my list. See, it's so many cases. And so, like I said, I mean, I know we all love Darrell Brooks. Well, not love him, but we love this trial. And everybody has covered it. And so that's why there's only certain things that I'm going to go over because I just feel like after a while, it's only so much that you could talk about. I feel like it'll always be parts in it that'll make us laugh that we'll always be able to go back to for humor. But from my standpoint, it's only so much that I can cover, and I'm going to have to move on eventually. So I just have to figure out what I want to cover exactly. So, but I do have Rosenbaum on the list. And somebody else asked me for Ronnie O'Neal, but I just don't know. I don't know if it's because he hollered so much during the trial. It's just something about him that oh God, I don't I don't know. I have to see. Um and then, like, with Letitia, like, I just have to sit down and really think about what I wanna do. I'm sure the majority of us have heard the calls, but like I said, a lot of the case file is available, so maybe it'll just be, like, a read through with that or something. I mean, I don't know. I have to see, but what was I saying that to say? Oh, I was responding to Bama, but we'll see how far this goes. I mean, I probably have about 10 more videos to do of Darrell, and then we gonna have to move on. I'm trying to think. The first case that I watched all the way through, and I don't know if you guys have heard of this case, but it is State of Ohio v. Sierra Day and Deontay Lewis. And she was convicted of unaliving her toddler. She starved her to death and abused her. And this is a case from Ohio. This happened in 2008, 17. And I actually have the interrogation video of her and her boyfriend. I have the arrest affidavit for that. Um, So that's a trial that I want to cover eventually. It's just that Ohio is slow with getting FOIA requests completed. So that'll take some time. The Bradley on trial. Oh, I can't stand him. Mm-mm. I can't stand him. That trial was heartbreaking. I don't know if I can do that one. Oh, Dakota. Yes, I did. I did. Let me see. The worst case ever is Dakota. Oh God, Bama. That's when I met you. Well, we met, but we didn't meet. That's when I, became familiar with you. But that case is the worst. That one and oh God, what is the other little boy's name where his father fed him to the pigs? Did y'all hear about that one? What's that baby's name? I can't think of his name right now. But Dakota, I can't do that one. I will not be able to. Y'all thought it was hard for me to read through that one video I did about the parade from the just like the spectators' point of view. I can't. I read the affidavit for Dakota. No, that is something I will never forget. It was horrific. Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't like Bradley, and I for damn sure can't stand on Ronnie O'Neal. Like the audacity of him. Yeah, it was really quick, but I don't know. I have to see. Maybe I just have to like look up some documents and read through it and see how I feel about it. But I watched opening statements and I think I watched closing. I watched his sentencing and maybe one day of the trial. And yeah, I can't either. I can't either. It is just, there are no words. And excuse me, his mom passed recently. Um, what was the other trial I was going to ask you guys about? Oh, Debbie, Dakota. Oh, that's another Ohio case. Um, his mom had some substance abuse issues, and his father couldn't do anything for him either. But unfortunately, the state allowed him to have custody of him, and his father was just an asshole. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. And he abused him in the worst way possible every day for years. What was it, Miss Bama? Like 2 years. Um, and the school got wind of the abuse, and he had withdrawn him from school so he can abuse him in peace. And what makes it even worse is that his girlfriend and the girlfriend's sister, they were put in charge to monitor him in another part of the house. Excuse me. And basically watch his father would force him to stand in a certain position every day, and the girlfriend and the sister were to watch him, and if he fell out of position, they were to let his father know, and the father would go and abuse him. It's horrific. If you Google Dakota Collins and just do a little digging, you'll find the the case file where the affidavit is in there, and it outlines it in detail, and it is horrific. I can't think of the little boy, um, and so I can't cover that one either. It's some of them that are just so horrific that it's just you watch it and you just have to say a prayer and move on. It's not something that you can just go back. You know what I mean? Because I feel like with me, with this channel, I want it to be more of a teaching channel from like a law aspect and not, like just commentary like other channels. And so I just can't find myself to talk about that. It's just it's too much. It's too much. So from 5, so 6 years, yeah. And a couple days before his birthday, right, Bama? Yes, very sad. Terrible. Yeah, y'all don't have to worry. I'm not gonna talk about that one. It's just too much. So Rosenbaum, it's sad, but I think that one, I think we'll be able to get through with that one. Um, and I guess that's kind of how I feel about Ronnie too, because he represented himself pro se, but it, the direct examination of his son is horrible. Yeah. Henry Dinkins too. I can do that one if y'all want to. I don't know if y'all heard of Henry Dinkins. That one was sad. That one just ended. I'm writing this down as we go over it. I can do the Henry Dinkins. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's his name. Mm, mm, mm. And that big back girlfriend. What's her name? Amanda something. Whatever her name is. So I said Sierra Day. They're from Ohio. Oh, wait. It's another case from Ohio. Brittany. Oh, Brittany something. Her little boy had red hair. That case is sad too. God, I can't think of her name right now. Brittany something. They're from Dayton, Ohio. What's some other cases, y'all? Some that don't involve children, because I can't take too much of that. Letitia wore me out. That one, that's enough for me for a while. Mark Jensen. What's that one about? I'm gonna write it down. What's that one about? I had a list. Amanda Hines. Yep, that's her sister Jennifer. Bama, what did you think about Jennifer? I didn't feel sorry for her. I didn't. It's hard for me to feel sorry for anybody. I just need y'all to know that. But her specifically, okay, yeah, no, I don't feel sorry for her. And the mother was not any better. Yes, the little boy name is James. I just can't remember the last name. Let me see if I can find my list. Because I need a break from Darrell for a few minutes. Give me a second. Um, who did? Who did that? Is that the dentist? Wasn't that the dentist that was putting it in her protein drinks? I saw that somewhere. The Akron brothers, Stafford brothers, killed Ethan Lemmy for shooting them with jail blazing. Oh yes, that happened where I live. I don't live in Akron, but I live in Ohio. What was the sentence? Let me write that down. Excuse me. Oh goodness, I can't find my list. Is anybody interested in the eye drop case? Judge Doral is covering that one. Ouch. And maybe Sarah Boone. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with that because didn't she her trial, she has another detention hearing. What, December something? Which one is boring? Who I just say? Oh, the eye drop case. Okay, well we don't have to talk about that one. What about? Oh, you know what? It's not being covered. The the Armstrong case, the case where the girl had oh God. Hold on, y'all. I lost my train of thought. She was dating this guy and then he left her and started dating a yoga teacher and she got jealous and unalived her. Y'all wanna they're not it's not streamed though. They just stream the opening and then they're streaming the closing. Okay, I wrote that one down, Debbie. You don't like Sarah? What don't you like about Sarah? Sarah is off the chain. I guess she's getting along with this new lawyer because I haven't heard anything. The last I heard, she was writing family court because she stopped receiving alimony from her ex-husband. And I guess the ex-husband ended communications with her and she hasn't had the opportunity to talk to her son. Let me see. Brittany, that's it. Brittany Gosney. Okay, I'm gonna write that one down. I don't think she went to trial, but I do have her interrogation. Let's see. You have to view. I know Maya. Everybody wants me to do day 17. So let me tell you, okay? Saturday, I'm supposed to be going live at I guess like 8:30 or so. Maybe a look y'all let me know because I'm doing um what am I doing? I'm doing a segment where I would defend Darrell and it's probably going to be lengthy and I know last time we were on here for like 3 hours so y'all let me know. I put on there 8 I think like 8 or 8:30 but I can move it up to like 7 or even 6. Y'all just have to let me know what works best for y'all cuz I know a lot of people work on Saturdays or whatever. So I'm doing that, okay? And then I have to do 2 to 3 more parts of the interrogation. I probably will do his direct for Erica. Um, I already did his mom's sentencing and grandma's sentencing. I did that. So I don't know. I just got to go back. But Yellow Shirt Day is one day, and I think that tantrum lasted like almost 2 hours. And so I'm working my way down the list to do it. Kayla, who is that? Oh, okay. Let me write that down. Kayla. Oh Lord. The Akron case? Okay, I gotta do some research on that one. That's not the girl is that the girl that, that's not the girl that, ran over her boyfriend, is it? In the Walmart parking lot? Or that's a different story? I'm watching the one that Judge Darrell is sitting on the lady in the undress. How is it, Maya? Okay, I wrote that one down. Yeah, I don't wanna be bothered with Trevor Summers, yes! That one is good. Okay, I'm writing that one down. Trevor Summers was off the chain. That one was really sad, but he was off the chain. Um, let me think. I did Carly Russell already. I don't think I'm gonna cover any. Well, it depends if she decides to go to trial or not. But I'm pretty much done with her. I don't know if y'all familiar with that case or not. I did a video on that one already. It's not necessary. It's crime, but it's not necessarily like true crime. It was just her faking that kidnapped it. Are y'all watching Brian Kohlberger? I'm not doing that trial. Is anybody watching that one now? And I'm not doing Alex Murdaugh. Mm-mm. I don't know. I'm gonna turn this video back on though for a second.
All right, thank you. The record to reflect he has also been provided with a copy of docket number 258.
I'm not acknowledging that document, Your Honor. I'm not acknowledging that. I don't consent to.
All right, I'm going to mute him because he's interrupting. Mr. Brooks, it's a document you filed.
In this communication to the court, Mr. Brooks indicates that he is on a quote, keep separate, end quote, in the jail, correct?
Correct?
And at the conclusion of the form, near the bottom, the last two sentences, he indicates that he has no access to the materials he needs to prepare for trial because of the keep separate order, correct?
Correct. That's what he states.
Okay. Did Mr. Brooks have access to his legal materials during the time that he was under a keep separate order?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, that would be the banker boxes of written discovery in his own jail cell?
Correct. Anything that was in his jail cell, he would have access to.
Okay.
And he would also have access to the conference room and a tablet
And the
in his
tablet.
cell.
The legal materials that are provided to him are on that tablet and on the computer in the conference room.
Correct.
And nothing about that keep separate order affected his ability to access those things, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions on this topic, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Brooks, I will unmute you. Do you have any questions on this topic for the jail administrator?
Yes, I do. You just stated on record that I had access to all materials for trial prep during the time of this keep separate, correct?
It doesn't specifically say what you don't have access to. So yes,
No, I
what was
said,
in your
did
cell.
you just say in open court on the record that I in fact had access at the time of this keep separate?
2 items in your cell, and you could have access to the conference room to view electronic.
So am I correct in saying that when you brought over these discovery materials to the pod, that I was in fact in one of those conference rooms and I talked to you face to face? Is that correct?
You were in a conference room and we spoke.
And I informed you then that I was on the keep separate, correct?
I do not recall that.
I specifically told you that I was gonna keep separate with the guy that was in the cell next to me that had placed that on me, correct?
I do not recall that.
So you don't recall, you can recall that we spoke, but you can't recall what we spoke about.
I informed you at that time I was delivering the banker's boxes.
And I took the liberty to explain to you that I was gonna keep separate and that was gonna hinder me being able to prepare. Is that correct?
I do not recall that.
You don't recall that, or you don't remember me bringing it up?
I do not recall us having a conversation regarding the keep separates. We had a conversation regarding me delivering your legal material.
So is there a way to verify when the keep separate went into effect?
Objection relevance. Well, hold on. Mr. Brooks, is the issue the keep separate protocol or that you didn't have access to the materials that we've now established through testimony you had access to once they were delivered to you?
Let me catch up. What's going on? Oh, and I'm right behind you, Bama. Thank you. Welcome. See, this is the thing. Oh, Lord. It was different because he was pro se. So from all of the research that I did about, why she was so lenient with him, it's because with him lacking the now I can't talk, the knowledge that he needed to represent himself properly, she couldn't just shut him up and tuck him away because he was getting on everybody's nerves. Because when he went to appeal, that could either been, them overturning his sentence, him getting a new trial, or just dismissing it altogether. So she just had to be really, really careful with him and made sure that even though he was saying he didn't understand things, she had to make sure that she explained things so that he could understand them, and so on and so forth. And so I know that got on a lot of people's nerves, like, oh my gosh, she's just letting him take over the courtroom. It wasn't that. So this person must be behaving. And so that's why she just doesn't even have to do too much. Is that what you're saying? Sarah Boone is exhausting. She is exhausting, but I mean, I just can't turn away from it. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's gonna be a good live. I know. I've been gathering all of my information, and I'm just gonna tell y'all that. No, I ain't gonna tell you. It's gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna save it. But that's what I'm doing Saturday. So all day tomorrow and all day Saturday until I go live. I just have to piece together everything. But it's just going to be a strategy. Like, I'm not gonna argue a case. It'll just be, what I feel a possible strategy, because we all know he's guilty. There's really no way to get him off. We know that. But, per the law, he's innocent until proven guilty, and, he has to have adequate defense. And so it'll just be, what I think a potential strategy could have been had he kept his lawyers. Thank you so much. We just chit chatting. So if you have any cases you want to recommend, feel free to do so. I'm just making a nice little list. I did add Gypsy Rose to the list. I don't know if anybody's interested in Gypsy Rose, or if you may or may not know of her. So I am adding her. She's getting paroled in December. And nobody said anything about Courtney Clenny, so I'm just gonna do what I want to do with that since y'all ain't saying nothing. So I'm gonna turn this video back on.
Initially why I wrote it was because that stops me from being able to shower in the unit, because officers would have to then take me to another part of the jail, sometimes in the pod, in a secure shower is what they call it, which is downstairs.
Sir, I'm just gonna stop you because I honestly, the whether you have a shower or not is not relevant to the issue of whether you had access to the materials you need to prepare for your case. Any questions at this point for the jail administrator? Again, not related to the shower, but related to access to materials.
Does a keep separate protocol, Ms. Whitehall, does a keep separate protocol restrict inmate movement in any way?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained, overly broad.
If I am on a keep separate protocol, would that in effect limit me to only being in my cell and being able to only utilize what I would essentially have in my cell?
That's a compound question, so you have to break it down one at a time. So rephrase.
Would a keep separate protocol
Yeah, jury selection is pretty boring. He done put on a couple pounds though, ain't he? I'm not body shaming. I'm just, making an observation. Thank you, Bama. Yeah, I'm gonna do Courtney. That interrogation is long, so I think that interrogation is like 4 hours. So I'm gonna have to break that one up like I'm doing Darrell, but I am gonna cover it. And then I think the text messages are available and some other court documents. So yeah, the Summers case was off the chain. What y'all think about Chris Watts? Should I do Chris Watts? Um, I know it's old, but I was thinking maybe Chris Watts and I don't know. I'll be back in a minute.
restrict me to cell confinement until arrangements can be made for me to be able to resume my normal activities?
Judge, I would prefer not to answer that. It's due to jail operations.
Okay, I got my train of thought back. Excuse me. They are in the same prison, Bama. Yep, they are. They actually moved Chris Watts to Dodge from Colorado. Okay, I got my train of thought back. Brooke Richardson. So, do y'all know who Brooke Richardson is? I'm going to do the videos individually and then I'm going to wrap them together. So, it'll be Brooke Richardson. She's from Ohio. Alexi Treviso. I have to cover that one no matter what. And, excuse me. Alexis Alvila. Do y'all know what those three cases have in common? Avila. Alexis Avila. Hey, Rendad. Is that how you pronounce it? Thank you so much for liking. Yep, that's the cheerleader from Ohio. Y'all know who Alexis Treviso is, right? And Alexi Treviso, excuse me, and Alexis Avila or Avila. So I'm gonna do a video on them individually, and then I'm gonna tie them all together because they all have a central theme. Yep. So Alexi threw the baby in the trash. Ale- Both of them threw the baby in the trash. So Brooke was the cheer is the che- well, she was a cheerleader. She buried her baby in the backyard. Excuse me. My sinuses drain when I talk too much. Alexi had the baby at the hospital and unalived the baby and threw the baby in the hospital trash can. And then Alexis threw the baby still alive in the trash at JC Penney. So of course, the central theme is infanticide. I think that's how they pronounce it, infanticide. But anyway, I'm doing a video on all three of them individually, and then I'll tie it together into one big video on like just doing some research on why mothers, especially young mothers, are prone to unaliving their children. So that should be pretty interesting. Another video I'm doing is about Khadijah Brown. Khadijah unalived her husband on Facebook Live. They are both sad. They are both sad. Um, but I like to do things so we can try to learn from them. So I'm just gonna thug it out and get through it. And then, like I said, I want to tie them all together at the end. Infants, yeah. What I say? Infanticide. I didn't pronounce it right. Probably not. Excuse me. Just tie them all together because I don't want to say it's fascinating to me, but I just really want to know what happens that you decide to do that. Like with Alex, well, all three of them seem to be fearful of what people would think. So, like with Brooke, she was a cheerleader, straight A student, and she probably didn't want to disappoint her parents. And I'm not making excuses for her, but that's what it seems like with all three. With Alexi, she was an adult, but she still lived at home, and she was fearful of, and I'm just assuming what her mom would think of her or whatever. And then Alexi was 19 when she decided to do what she did, which doesn't make sense to me because two out of the three are adults. And my thing with Alexi is your mom's not privy to anything that goes on with you as it relates to your medical treatment and your medical care, right? So let's say, you went to the hospital, you're having pain, you don't realize it's labor, and you go to the bathroom and you give birth to a baby. She claims the baby wasn't crying, which could be possible. My daughter didn't cry when she was born. She just looked around, but she's okay. She was okay. She just didn't cry. And so you're at the hospital. You could have easily walked into the hallway and just said, "Hey, you know what? I need somebody to come here real quick. I had this baby. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. My mom's here. Please don't tell her what's going on." By law, they can't tell her anything. You know, you're an adult. So if it's a situation where your mom was abusing you or you were fearful of what the outcome would have been if you had a baby out of wedlock, they could have helped her. That hospital could have helped her with placement so she can get out of her mom's house. So I just really want to understand what happened there. And then with Alexi, like part of me is like, okay, you were scared of your mom, but you literally took like your baby was alive and breathing and you just tossed this baby in a dumpster and walked away. There is no reason why. There will never be an answer that makes sense that's logical, right? You can't justify that. And to go back to this, Bama, I don't know if you realize I put it on my community wall that she's getting ready to be released from prison until she can get an appeal. So basically, she's just walking away. She was sentenced to, I think, 16 years. So who you talking about, Alexi? If you're talking about Alexi, I do think her mom helped her cover it up and then she just playing a role. And when it came to arrest her, she could have got arrested. The mom could have for obstruction. But you're right. She could have went in the hallway and just said, I had a baby, but I don't want it. And that would have been the end of it. Don't tell my mom I had a baby. I am not prepared to take care of a baby. I'm emotionally immature. I don't have the resources to care for this baby. And that's it. They check your bleeding, make sure the placenta is out. You go home. That's the end of it. That's the end of it. But I feel it's important to talk about it. I do. So, even though the cases were just horrific, I'm just like I said, just gotta thug through it and do it. But Khadijah Brown, I'm gonna talk about her. That's the lady that unalived her husband on Facebook Live. She finally was indicted and denied bail. And then there's another case. I don't know if you guys heard of Therian Wimbush. She locked her son in a room in the basement for 17 months. Her and her husband were sentenced to 20 years in prison for that. There was another case that I was gonna cover, but I can't. The details are horrific. I don't know if you guys have heard of Tiffany Brown and her husband, Iman Brown, and Iman's daughter, Imani Brown from Atlanta, Georgia. Not Atlanta, from Georgia. I'm not gonna do it. It's just too much. She did. She did. Did I say 17 years? I meant to say 17 months. I'm sorry. They locked him in the basement for 17 months. They didn't allow him to shower. They didn't give him any type of, his basic human basic human needs weren't met. They did feed him twice a day, sometimes once a day. He was not allowed to shower. He was not allowed to go outside. They covered the window and curtains so he couldn't get any fresh, sunlight, no type of fresh air whatsoever, none. They said when the police, when they went to get him out of the room, his shorts looked like underwear because he had just grown so much. He had literally had on the same outfit. They said that his bed sheets had become so nasty that he just had to take them off of the mattress and tuck them away. Um, it was like mold and stuff, just disgusting. I'm not gonna go too much further with that, but yeah, it was really sad. They his parents received 20 years for that. Which one you talking about, Christine? Imani, yeah, I can't. If you're talking about Imani, I can't do that one. I want to, but I can't. It's up there with Dakota. I don't know if that one is worse than that one is worse than Dakota to me. John, I wonder where you went. What parts you walk in on? What you confused about? Oh, should I cover that one? Oh God, that one is terrible. Cheyenne. And what's the husband's name? Oh God. That's one. Oh, what about what's that other girl's name? She just got off. Oh God. And the baby's name was Kalia. Kalia. Y'all know who I'm talking about? The parents went on like this drug binge and the father took the baby in the woods. Then there was another case. I can't think of the name, but the parents were on drugs and they put this precious baby in a box and then in the woods. See, stuff like that, after I see it, it's just like, I don't know. So here's the thing. Therian and her husband Ricardo, they had 10 children. All of the children were homeschooled. And the children that were allowed to still live their everyday lives, they're okay. The only thing that they were affected by was not having their mother and father. Ricardo, let me tell you how trifling Therian is. She's so trifling that she and her husband decided to represent themselves in court. Okay. So she can have the opportunity to talk to her children and no one else. So the state was able to uh examine each child individually, and she did the cross examination, but she didn't want anybody to get in her children's mind and coerce them into thinking that what the parents did was wrong. Man, I'm telling you, that trial is off the chain. I watched it in its entirety. I've read uh court documents about it, and it's terrible. The mother is terrible. Yeah, John. The parents locked him. I think that he was acting up, and originally when they put him in that room, he still had access out and he ran away. And this is what's even worse is that when he ran away, the police found him and he was so afraid to go back home that he gave them a fake name. And so the police arrested him. The parents had to go and get him, and once that happened, that's when they locked the windows, they locked the door, and he was confined to that space until somebody tipped off the police that he was down there. Okay. Yeah, isn't that the with baby Kalia? Right. Right. Now he's still in prison, but she just got off. Oh, still too close, yes. And when they learned they were cousins, they didn't, decide to stop talking. They did. Yep, they represented themselves. They were found guilty on, oh God, all but 2 counts, and they were sentenced to 20 years in prison. And the mom had the audacity to appeal. The mom has 2 degrees in mechanical engineering. The father was a football player while in college. They had their first baby while he was in college. She didn't do anything with her degree. She decided to just be a stay-at-home mom and homeschool the children. So, they said that she was very strict, very serious. She didn't allow the children to have friends outside. They if they went outside, they weren't allowed to play with the other children in the neighborhood. If kids came to her house during Halloween, she would hand out Bibles instead of candy. Like it's yeah. Right. That's what she said, and she's upset because, originally the children were in foster care, and she said that they were immunized. I can't say that word, and well, I'll say vaccinated. I can say that vaccinated, and some of the foods that they were given were against their religion and just things like that. Like y'all know I don't like the word narcissist, but she fits the description to a T. Yeah, Bibles, girl. She would hand them Bibles. She wouldn't even get a kid's candy. Like, yeah, she was very strict. They were only allowed to play with Legos in the house and watch DVDs. She didn't hardly take them anywhere. Like, it's really, but I'm gonna do that case too. So don't worry. I'm telling y'all, I have a notebook full of cases. Every time I see something or cases that I've seen before, when I remember, I write them down. As long as they aren't too, gruesome or whatever. Um, what y'all think about Corey Richins? Y'all gonna follow that one? I don't know if I want to cover that one or not. That's the lady that is alleged to have unalived her husband with the fentanyl in the drink. I don't know if I want to do that one or not. I don't think so. I need a little snack. I'm gonna turn this back on for a second so it won't be no dead air.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to honor the request of the jail administrator to not answer that because it would require her to provide uh, information regarding jail operations. It's overly broad. You need to limit the question to how this protocol limits you specifically as it relates to access to materials needed to prepare for trial.
I asked the question and I was told that it wouldn't be answered. I asked at the time that she brought over the discovery materials, was she aware that I was going to keep separate protocol at that time?
That's been answered.
Sustained. The answer was already provided. She doesn't need to answer it again. Next question.
What was the answer to that?
The record speaks for itself, sir. Next question,
I don't
please.
recall her answering that specific question.
Next question, please.
Can you provide for me where she answered that specific question?
Mr. Brooks, do you have another question for the jail administrator?
Is it going to be answered? Is it going to be honored?
The record speaks for itself, sir.
Well, if the record speaks for itself, then that question should be able to be answered. Were you aware, Ms. Wallahoff, that at that time I was on a keep separate protocol, that it was already in the system that I was on that protocol?
What date are you referring to, sir?
The date that you brought over the discovery materials, were you aware at that time, on that date, that I was under a keep separate protocol?
You previously asked me if I recall the discussion you were informing me.
But that's not the question now, though.
I was aware.
The question is the day that you brought over the discovery material, were you aware at that time that I was on a keep separate protocol?
I can't state for certain at that moment in time. I was aware you were on a keep separate. I can't state what date that I was made aware of that. I think it was due to a complaint that you sent forward to the jail.
I sent no such complaint. The complaint was by the other party. Were you aware of that?
Judge, I prefer not to answer this. I don't understand how it impacts what he
Yes,
has
Mr.
had
Brooks, we're
access to.
far afield from the issue at hand. So I'm going to ask you one last time. Do you have any additional questions for the jail administrator?
What are you allowed and not allowed to do on the keep?
Okay, I'm back. Let me see what y'all talking about. Because I know John in here cutting up. I just know it. Yes, I got a good little list going. A good one. We gonna get there. We in for the long haul, okay? John. Yep. And he gets so frustrated. It's so like the COVID laws didn't work. And so now, okay, well, you violating my basic rights. I can't shower, I can't shave. They won't let me out of this cell. I gotta go all the way over to another pod to shower. I don't have my materials, just all kinds of goings on. Debbie, where you been? You been a little quiet. You okay? I hope we're not boring you. Oh, the turbans. Okay, so let me tell y'all what I wrote down when I pushed when I turned the thing back on. When I pushed play. So I put Sydney Powell. I don't know if y'all heard of Sydney Powell. That is the young lady who unalived her mother in God, this happened in Ohio too. Um, because her mom learned that she was academically dismissed from college. That case just ended. What y'all think about Chad Dorman? I don't think I can do that one. I don't think I could do that one. I wrote down the Turpins Bama. That was a good one. I'm gonna do that one. Hey, Bobby Boucher. Are you aware that you will make a plea fully? Y'all are funny. Yeah, I can't. John is so funny. Let me tell you, I am so glad to have him here. I'm not doing Chad. Taylor Parker too. I don't know if y'all heard of her. I wrote her down. Excuse me. Um. Okay. I'm gonna push play so I can look up some more cases. Y'all keep talking.
Objection, relevance.
Sustained. All right, then I gave him the opportunity to ask questions. That was his last one.
I wasn't done.
Mr. Brooks, I'll give you one more opportunity then. They need to be relevant. They need to be within the bounds that I've already discussed.
That was in the bounds. I just asked this.
The issue is limited to the impact of the keep separate on your ability to have access to materials needed to prepare for trial.
But Your Honor, with all respect, every question that I asked that had relevancy to that was either overruled or she was directed not to answer that.
Mr.
So
Brooks?
how the
Mr.
questions
Brooks,
that
you
I'm
indicated
asking-
you had other questions. I will give
Yes,
you this
please.
opportunity if you can ask a question that falls within the scope that I've previously identified. Do you have another
Well, I mean-
question?
Would I be allowed out of my cell on a keep separate protocol?
It's vague, Your Honor. The question is, was he allowed out of his cell to access his legal materials?
That's not what I asked.
Right, the
Judge.
question you asked, the objection is sustained. If you'd like to ask the question suggested by Attorney Opera, that would be permissible by the court.
No, I would want to ask my own question. Thank you. Was I able to come out of my cell on the keep separate protocol?
Judge, I would prefer not to answer that.
It's beyond the scope of the inquiry right now. The jail administrator need not answer that question.
Can you give me the basis why, Your Honor?
It's beyond the scope.
What does that mean? I do not understand.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any other questions?
I do not understand what beyond the scope means. That was a direct.
One last time,
question.
sir. Do you have any other questions?
That was a direct question.
All right, I'm going to mute him because he's now not being responsive to the question that I asked, and that is, does he have any questions to ask the jail administrator within the scope that I've previously outlined? Any follow-up from the state?
No.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
That's who I was trying to remember. Okay. I don't know if y'all heard of Dee Dee Moore. I wrote her down. I'm going to write down Daniel and Jessica. Janaea Pratt is another one. I'm telling y'all, I got cases for days. I got cases for days. Say he got tons of targets on his back. He might last 3 days in Gen Pop, and that's pushing it. So is he in a is Darrell in a medical unit? Y'all? I don't know what's going on with this man. Right, exactly. Mm.
Nothing else from the state, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, do you have anything else related to the inmate communication form dated September 28 of 2022? Since we obviously included that after we took up the other issue.
Yeah, I'm still, I don't understand how, any questions that I was asking, are not allowed to be answered.
Mr. Brooks, I'm asking you very clearly, do you have any other information, testimony, or evidence you want to present as it relates to the inmate communication form dated September 28 of 2022?
Yeah, I would like to, is it a way that we can verify the standards of the keep separate protocol?
Mr. Brooks?
To be able to show the
Mr.
court.
Brooks, please listen very carefully. There's a question I'm asking you is, do you have any other evidence,
consent to being asked a question
document? All right,
when
then
you
I'll,
can't even answer the
all right,
question
I'm going
that
to mute
asking
him
you.
once again. He is not answering very clear questions.
Okay, let's see what we got. OJ trial, Bobby Boucher, really? How long was that trial? I was a little girl when that took place. OJ. Johnny Cochran was no joke, okay? They said he's in medical PC. Okay, I gotcha. Dell Brooks is in Dodge. I'm waiting to see if they go after his mother. So, Miss Santana, I did talk about this a couple of times. I can't remember what video I did where I went over all of the things that she could possibly be charged with, and unfortunately, she won't be charged because the potential crimes that everybody feels that she should be charged with don't fit those elements. So she does not fit the elements of aiding and abetting, which essentially means that she knew that he was going to go drive through the parade. I researched if, she can get in trouble for allowing him to drive her car even though he didn't have a license. And no, because it's up to that individual to be responsible for their own license. I looked up to see if harboring a fugitive would be one, even though we know he was there. Many a times he was evading law enforcement, and that wouldn't stick because there's no proof that he was there, given the fact that they have to go based off the address that he provided at the time of arrest. And so this last time he had put on there his mom's address, but they claimed that they couldn't find the active warrants that were issued by Nevada. So she wouldn't get in trouble for that. Um, there's nothing that they can charge her with. They don't have any evidence to charge her with anything. Um, and so no, she won't get charged with anything. Okay, so a civil trial, but nothing criminal, right? Is that why she filed for bankruptcy, Bama, so that she wouldn't have to pay that judgment? Long trials are fun, Bobby. I wrote it down. I wrote OJ down. You were in the 7th grade? I can't remember what grade I was in. It was a while ago, though. Now, depending on the state laws, he has to go to gym pop or protect the population at some point, but there's always ways around it. Yeah. Which series? You talking about the one with Cuba? That one was funny. Wasn't that American something crime or something? He talked about his mother on the second part of the motion to dismiss his lawyers. Okay, look at you, Bobby. Yes, you better remember. Because I forgot. The second day, let me see, you talking about his the second part of the motion to dismiss his lawyers. You're right. You're right. Because after I did that video, a lot of people were asking me, could, asking could she be charged with anything or just hoping and praying that she could be charged with anything. And so I did open up that video with that. And so, guys, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. It's just the way that the laws are in Wisconsin, even though she was trying to get him a ride. So here's the thing. Had he been able to get away, if he was successfully able to get out of Waukesha, yes, absolutely. But seeing as though he was not able to get out, he was arrested before he got away, no. And then again, even though, so here's the thing, she was very quick on her feet with calling in her vehicle being stolen. That's what got her away, got her off, I should say, because she immediately called, excuse me, the police and said, "I think that's my car. It was stolen." um, Now, had he been able to get away, then of course they could have subpoenaed her phone to make sure that she called the Uber. They already had proof that she called Daniel Ryder, but he wasn't able to get away. So they can just say, "Okay, she made a phone call." Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry I'm sniffing in this mic. Now, if Brooks did this in Louisiana, I guarantee he would be on the road, but otherwise he did this. Yeah. Yeah. So he just, and like I said, it just depends on the state. So every state has different elements per charge. I think I kind of went over that last time, and I don't know if you guys were able to follow me. It was a lot of law talk, but basically every state has statutes, and statutes are what they use to charge you with crimes. But before they can charge you with a crime, it's three things that they have to check off, check the box off on. So it's your mens rea, which is your state of mind to commit the crime, your criminal intent. The actus reus, which means the harm itself. And then after that, so let's just say you went in the store and you pop somebody, okay? They have to prove the criminal intent. Did you purposely do it? Did you knowingly do it? Was it recklessly or was it negligently, first of all? And then what was the harm itself? So that would it be homicide? Would it be manslaughter? Would it be first degree, second degree, involuntary? They have to go through all of those things. And then if they check that box off, then you have to go through the elements. Was the defendant knowingly, you know, um, carrying a deadly weapon or whatever the elements are, but it's different per state. And so I live in Ohio. In Ohio, yeah, she probably would have been arrested for something or, in New York or whatever. But it just ultimately depends on the state. So that's why Sue Opera, just dropped it. We don't have anything that we can charge her with successfully. Yep. That's why when I looked up if she can get in trouble. Sorry, I need some water. Hold on a second. When I looked up to see if she could get charged for him having her car, even though, the car was in her name, as long as she reported the car stolen, she was fine. Cause I know that tripped everybody up. Like, well, why is she calling 911? She know doggone well that's her car. We know she knows, but that was a way to cover her tail. Yep. So that's why. So she probably won't have to pay that judgment. And she didn't have insurance either. So, oh, really? Well, I'm going to cover it just for you. You asked me nicely, and I appreciate all of y'all, just for being here with me and engaging. So I don't mind. But I'm going to tell you it's not high up on the list. Like it's further down, but we'll get to it eventually. Right, right. Oh man. Yeah. Bama has a lot of good information. She knows a lot of the details. Yes and no, Bobby. And this is why I say this. As far as him driving through the parade, I don't blame her. That's not her fault. Um, her letting him have access to the car, yes and no. Yes, because he used the car to harass Erica, right? I blame Dawn because I blame her for allowing her son to harass Erica and abuse Erica repeatedly, right? Um, so that part, yes, it's her fault. It's her fault because you knew what was up with that. And I don't care how much you love your children, we all know what's wrong and what's right. And so I think that's why so many people are upset with her because you allow your son to do these terrible things and you don't hold him responsible or accountable for anything all the way up until the day when he drove through this parade. You're still making excuses for him. And so I think a lot of us are just so upset that she had the audacity to stand in front of the news and ask us to feel sorry for her and for her son. And so I think a lot of what people want is just her to be responsible because they're angry with her. Now, I will never blame her for the parade massacre ever. I don't feel like that's her fault. Um, but I do think that she holds a lot of responsibility for allowing him access to Erica by way of that car and by way of paying his second phone bill that he used to stalk, harass, find, and abuse her. So she is culpable for some of that. Yes. Yes, Sue Opera would have been the one to file those charges against her. So, like I said, had she been able to successfully get him out of Waukesha, that would have been over for her. If Brooks knocked on the door of any SK, what is SK, John? Real or fake? Who would you pick? Mine is from Jigsaw. What's SK, first of all? You know I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I know. I know who you're talking about. Never mind, never mind. I got it. Okay, let me read it again. If Brooks knocked on the door of any SK, real or fake, who'd be your pick and why? Jigsaw so he can torture him? Bobby, I don't mind y'all being old timers because let me tell you something. This chat is very mature. We have a good time, but we are mature over here. There's no shenanigans whatsoever. So I appreciate it. I grew up around old timers. That don't bother me. Look, it don't make me flinch one bit. Uh-oh. The guy from Saw, because you know he gonna crack under pressure. Back when we had Corti actually on TV. Okay. Friendly reminder, the time changed. We know, Bama. I live in Brooklyn, New York. She was just one down with him. Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? It just differs. It just depends on the state. It depends on the state. You know, she was smart and she was quick on her feet, just like her son is oftentimes quick on his feet, but he wasn't quick enough this time. It's okay. What you cooking? Altogether, there will be a lot of interest. So many young people I know. You're right. You're right. Maybe I'll boost it up on the list a couple notches. You're right. A couple at the parade that were not injured has sued their own insurance, stating traumatic disorder from watching DP. Whoa. Did they win? Wow. I didn't know you could. Whoa. Every time. Okay. Let me tell you something, Miss Santana. John, I don't know if you got to watch my live from last Saturday. John had me in here hollering. I'm still a little sick, but my throat wasn't all the way healed Saturday, and he had me coughing and hollering, and my stomach was in knots. Okay. His mother had to be mentally exhausted after dealing with the malignant and not blame her for trying to protect her son. No, I don't agree with her. What part of the protection? No, I don't know if I could be. And we talked. I think we talked about on that on the last live. I don't know if Maya's still here. We talked about that. How far would you go as a parent when how far would you go as a parent as it relates to protecting your children? How far could you go? Honestly, I have two boys. I could not allow them to abuse any woman. Like no. Mm-mm. And then I learned last Saturday from y'all that he and his mom had Erica sleeping in a tent. Like, no, what mother would allow that? Like, unfortunately, we have to agree to disagree on that one. Like, like, if something was really wrong with him, if he had a mental defect that caused him to do these things, to some extent, I can understand her wanting to protect him. But it's just, he's a career criminal since 1999, and the bulk of his charges are from battery and substantial battery, which in Wisconsin is battery, but it's felony battery, right? It's not a misdemeanor. So I just can't see myself seeing how that's okay. I don't see how that's okay. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I couldn't keep giving you avenues to get away. Like every time he got in trouble in Nevada or Georgia, he went back home to his mommy. And that's harboring, it's just that they didn't know where he was. But he went back home to her. And then the only reason, he was sleeping in the car was because, he had the incident with his nephew. And then he even put the paws on her in the kitchen. Like, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Who? Who is that? What y'all talking about? You're not mature. What you mean? I might have some sympathy for Darnisha. John, that's part of my defense. Don't tell too much. I would have had some sympathy. See, look, if he had a driven through the parade, right? Let's say he drove through the parade, and let's say, I don't know, his foot slipped and he accidentally hit like one of the dancing grannies, right? If he had a jumped out that car and be like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do," like just fall on your face, apologizing and being remorseful, I think everybody would have felt differently. But the fact that you kept going and then now it's you're lying and then you're acting like we're violating you and we're treating you unfairly and we don't have a right to be upset. That's what gets me. I think that's where it all changes. Oh, ribeye and potatoes. I'm not really a steak person, but it sounds good. Oh, they won? See, I didn't even know you could do something like that. Wow. He's a mess. Oh. Exactly, exactly. And I think that's why a lot of people just can't stand on because you're blaming everybody else. When that's your son and you're claiming that he had this mental, quote unquote, mental illness since the age of 10, you had time to help him. There are resources available for you to get for him to get help, and you chose not to. So it's not our fault. I don't feel sorry for nary one of them. Not at all. That's right, Debbie. After okay, he got him out that time, and don't forget, bailed him out with Erica, okay, and was on the phone in cahoots with him like, "Okay, well, we gotta get her to, recant so they'll throw out the case." I can't feel sorry for her. I can't. You got to. You can love your children, okay, and discipline them. That's love to me, not child abuse, but discipline them. She ain't do nothing with her son. I said that the other day. She didn't do nothing but birth her children and give them something to eat and probably a couple of outfits. What else she do? Because if she every day got in his ass like what she should have, we wouldn't be here. And I get it. Some kids still grow up and go the opposite way. Not all of them. Some do. They're just defiant. But you can tell she did nothing with him. And that's why I think she was just set on trying to protect him now because she knows she didn't do what she should have done when he was younger. Well, then you know what? I don't know if I should say that. What would you do if you had a child? Let's say they had oppositional defiant disorder, right? And you couldn't do anything with them no matter what you did. You had grandparents that tried to help. You had the church trying to help you. All of the things you tried to do didn't work. What would you do? Would you just let them take over or would you try to get them Baker acted and let the state handle it? What would you do? And don't think with emotion. That's one thing that we don't do over here. We take the emotion out of it. So take the emotion out. Take the emotion out of being a parent, meaning that the love that you have for your children, the protection that you want to offer them, and all of that. Take all of that out of it, right? And think about what you would do as a parent when your child is defiant and you can't do anything about it. And we're not talking about like typical teenage stuff when the hormones are shifting and all of that and they just get out of control for a minute. When they are defiant beyond your control, and I'm hungry. Yep. At some point you have to let go. Like, I'd be damned if I don't live to be the age that I am and you think that you getting ready to drag me in some mess with you to where I'm getting ready to lose my freedom because you don't care about your life? No, absolutely not. I just can't. No. Mm-mm. Life is already hard, and now you gonna put me in that position? You know what, Joanna? I want to find. I may have to do a FOIA request and see what pictures I can get. I don't want no autopsy pictures or anything like that. I want to see the picture if they have it of him sticking his head out of that window because they didn't show that to us. In fact, I have. Hold on a second. I'm done with this video. I hope y'all are too. I'm tired of listening to him. I actually have. I don't know if I can share my screen today. Give me a second. I have a list of the evidence that I can probably request. Give me a second. Is this it? Yep. So let me see if it's a way that I can share this. No. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No. No. Maybe I can upload it. Hold on. Oh, I can. It's a PDF. Cool. Okay, that's processing. Let me keep doing this. It was all Erica's fault why everything happened and the imaginary people in the backseat. That's what they trying to say. Mumu, Stephanie, and Erica shouldn't have let him know where he was at. Hey, Kel. If his mom hadn't bailed him out at the parade. Yep. Yep. You did? Oh, email it to me. Want me to give you my email so I can look at it, please? Oh, progressive. Marcus and Erica read the. I'm not. I'm just going to brush on past this. Bye, John. Oh. Oh, God. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I would absolutely have had to go to the state and just tell them what's up. All states, I don't think all states honor Baker Act, but listen, y'all gonna have to help me do something. I love him enough to help him get help, right? I love him enough to offer him to the state, put him in some type of home. Y'all got all kind of specialists to help him in ways that I can't. I can love him all day long, but if you're defiant beyond my control, there's nothing I can do. Exactly. 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 Mhm. Oh, Debbie girl, you missed everything. No, I'm just playing. What are we talking about? We're just chit chatting a little bit. I had asked a question that if you have a child that has oppositional defiant disorder and they are defiant beyond your control, what would you do and take the emotion out of it? We don't want to be emotional thinkers. What would you do? That was the question. And then we're just going over some other little stuff. Is it? Oh no. But I'm still gonna do it. It's just I have to break it up. I have to break it up. What y'all talking about? Them videos were lit. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. How I make this bigger? I don't know how to make this bigger. Let me see. Full screen. Will that help? No. Because I know y'all can't see that. And I don't know how to make this. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Can y'all see that? Okay, so this is the exhibits, and I'm trying to see. So we got video, right? White Rock, photo of Erica. You got the Google map, Randy's auto, photo of Darrell Brooks driving, but it doesn't say which photo. Video CCW from Citizens Bank, a drone, video Darrell at the house. We saw those victim map, video of Officer Butcher, and I guess that's when he was chasing Darrell. Hold on a minute. Let me get this off of here so I can see what I'm doing. Oh Lord, hold on. There we go. Let me take this banner down real quick because I can't see nothing. Or this comment. It's a comment. Okay, now let me see if I can see it better. Okay. We got a victim map, video, Officer Butcher running, Officer Schneider. We got a photo of a car at Fleet, grass side. Another photo of a car. Photo of Fleet, bullet front windshield. And then it just says like a series of photos. It doesn't specify what photos. Crime lab report, the pink hat, the car in the driveway, the sandals, photo of the backyard at Dunbar, sweatshirt, photo of the car on Maple. Let me see, hold on. Photo of the cell phone, ring video. That's from Daniel Ryder's house. Interview with Brooks. The mechanical inspection, the sweatshirt, the sandals, certified bail form. Oh, is that what Brooks was talking about during that 50-minute rant when he said he didn't have a copy of the certified bail form? He's a lie. It's in his discovery. Crime lab report. Let me see. Autopsy reports. Photos. It doesn't specify what photos. Somebody running from the car. More photos. Jane Coolidge on the ground. Oh, God. Jane Coolidge walking. Steamy cup videos, screenshots from the drone. Yeah, it doesn't. Hold on. The band video from Nicole White. Dance team. Another series of photos, but it doesn't specify what. Yeah, so this won't be any help to me because this doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me I would have to call a clerk of courts to get an itemized list. Yeah, Joanna, we about to get off because we've been on here 3.5 hours. Y'all can't have all of me. Okay. Uh rub it. Rub what? Oh, talking about kid ID hunt. Go to old school. Belts. Yep. Take stuff away. Earn it back. Yep. Square up. Square back up with them and call the police. Absolutely. Yep. I don't know. Truly. I'm blessed with two amazing daughters. We just found out all this stuff. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that, Debbie. Okay. So it's fine. Bye, Joanna. Good night. Was it 45 minutes? Probably that sounds about right because I know that the incident took or the attack or no, John, he told you it wasn't an attack. Okay? It was not an attack. The incident took place at wasn't it 4:44? He was arrested at no, his mom called the police. I don't know. Bama, no. Let me just shut up. Because I think he called his mom at 5:44. I read the timeline. I don't know what video. I can't remember. My son was acting up in school last month and hit. Wait, what? My son was acting up in school last month and hit his. Was it his teacher with something real old school? Had him. That's right. Good. Hmm. He never went through discovery. He said the state never gave him a list of witnesses, but they did. They had to. Right. So during the jury selection, they gave him a list of witnesses, and also, during the preliminary hearings. I can't talk. I'm getting tired. During the preliminary hearings, there has to be a demand for discovery, and he had it in those bankers boxes. He didn't want to look at it. You're absolutely right. 40 minutes. Okay. Thank you all. All right. What y'all about to do? Cause I'm about to go. It's been fun. My mouth is tired. I'm hungry. I need a little snack. We've been on here 3.5 hours, having a good time as we always do. Um, I need to lay my burdens down, and tomorrow and Saturday, I have to prepare my defense, and I don't want any foolishness out of you, John. Okay. But nah, I need to go so, I can lay down a little bit, just a little bit, and do what I need to do tomorrow. And I'll catch back up. Y'all did not tell me no time. So as far as I know, we going on at 8:30, and however long it takes is however long it takes for me to give my strategy. Um, so thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much from the bottom of my heart. And I'll talk to y'all later, okay? Y'all be easy. Peace.